Hello, I'm Mike Patrick, and welcome to Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium. The 2010 College World Series Finals will be played here for the last time, UCLA and South Carolina. Since 1950, this little diamond on the hill has been home to generations of college baseball greatness. It's been a shrine to the game. So join us as we enjoy the last trip to Rosenblatt.
Is it the end or the beginning? Sadness or joy? Such a rare treat to enjoy something so special, so near and dear for so long. A museum and a cathedral. A beacon that has shined for 6 decades. Generations have been drawn to what can only be described as a field of dreams. Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium and the road to Omaha, synonymous for so long. The good people of Omaha protect this shrine and all that it stands for, and they once again welcome us home. The city busts with pride, the stage set one last time. Sadness or joy? Let the celebration begin. South Carolina and UCLA arrived with the weight of a national championship heavy on their backs. Pressure? Oh yeah, this is Omaha. South Carolina, one strike away from packing it in, is now one game away from locking it up. For UCLA, going home, not an option. For both schools, it's their shoulders that carry the weight of history. For tonight, they become the last men to shine in a place that has outshined them all for so long. The road once again rolls through Omaha, Nebraska, forever the home and haven of the College World Series.
South Carolina rode up the hill to Rosenblatt knowing they had come all the way back. One strike from elimination on Thursday to one game from a national title on Tuesday. But UCLA will not go quietly, and the Bruins aim to give the old ballpark another night as the mecca of college baseball. Welcome to the College World Series Finals, presented by Capital One. The situation is this: UCLA needs to win to force a deciding Game 3 tomorrow night. A win by South Carolina, and they will become the final school to win a national title here at Rosenblatt. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, along with Robin Ventura and Oral Hershiser. It's great to have you with us from the College World Series. Tonight could be the last game ever at Rosenblatt Stadium. It most certainly will be a game that is filled with intense pressure. But, Robin, that's something South Carolina's been dealing with ever since they lost their first game about 10 days ago.
Well, it is, and they just have to stay in the moment. They have to be able to keep their emotions in check, knowing that you are 27 outs from a national championship. And what do? Ray Tanner sends out Michael Roth, a pitcher that threw a 9-inning, 3-hit, 1 earned run game against Clemson just to get here. He's appeared in 50% of their games this year. If you would have asked them who was going to pitch the national championship game, this would not have been the guy. It's that unexpected.
UCLA last night just couldn't catch a break. Everything that hit a South Carolina bat seemed to find a hole, but that turns this into a big ball game.
A big game, and you've got Rob Rasmussen, a junior left-hander on the mound, and he pitched what John Savage, the head coach, termed the biggest game in UCLA baseball history. That was the Super Regionals against Cal State Fullerton, the deciding game, 9 innings, 9 Ks, 2 hits. So he can't wait to have another chance at another big game, and I think this one will be classified as the biggest game in university history in baseball now.
The first College World Series game at what was then Omaha Municipal Stadium was June 15th, 1950. Will June 29th, 2010 be the final one on the Hill? South Carolina and UCLA will decide that in the next few hours. Game 2 of the College World Series Finals.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One Venture Card, official credit card of the NCAA Men's College World Series.
Welcome back to Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha, Nebraska for Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. UCLA and South Carolina. Chance for us to check in with Kyle Peterson. Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. For UCLA, John Savage talked to Rob Rasmussen before this game. The message was real simple. Just do what you've done all year. Now, he struggled a bit in his first start here. The rest of the season, Rasmussen's been nails for this UCLA team. They really have 3 aces on the weekend. He pitched Game 3 of the regional and the super regional, like Oral talked about, to help get this UCLA team here. When he came to UCLA, top pitch was a breaking ball. John Savage taught him a cutter. That cutter really has carried him through the last couple of years. That's something to watch today for Rasmussen. And to me, the key is the first couple innings. If he gets off good, he's got a great shot. For more on South Carolina, let's go to the other side of the diamond and Aaron Andrews.
Thanks, Kyle. South Carolina's Jackie Bradley Jr. has had a huge tournament with clutch hitting. And now South Carolina is just 1 win away from winning a national championship. I had a chance to speak with his head coach, Ray Tanner, about what he's done on this national stage. And his coach said he is so envious of guys who just thrive in the spotlight without any anxiety.
He's always been a good player for us from the day he stepped on campus. But he's been so comfortable out here on the biggest stage of his life.
You know, it's amazing the pressure hasn't gotten to him. And I mean, there's a lot of talk about Jackie and how good he's been doing. He's just been ignoring it and just playing his game.
He's been, our backbone at the plate for us.
He's come up with big hits throughout the series. I feel like he's a guy that can play in the big leagues one day.
He just revels in this atmosphere. He's a very humble young man. He's as good outside of the lines as he is between them. It's been fun to watch it.
And Mike, Ray Tanner also telling me he loves talking to Jackie after his at-bats. He says he'll just tell you exactly what he sees out there. And these South Carolina Gamecocks also love how Jackie just seems to slow the game down for everyone.
He is an outstanding first-round talent. He's got to go in the first round next year in the draft, everybody would think. Let's take a look at this UCLA starting lineup tonight in the do-or-die game presented by Capital One. Familiar names at the top, although they flip-flop tonight. Gallego will lead off, followed by Amaral. Dunlap the DH. Dean Espy moves up to the cleanup spot, followed by Regis. Brett Krill gets a start in right. Chris Giovinazzo moves to left. Trevor Brown inserted into the lineup as the third baseman, and Steve Rodriguez will be the catcher.
And one of the veterans moving from the 4-hole to the 3-hole. Blair Dunlap is a guy that they look to produce, and especially in these big games.
And they will face one of the great stories of the College World Series, Michael Roth, who had been a relief pitcher all year, started 1 game. That was the last one here in the College World Series, and talk about a guy being nailed.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy that pitched in 50% of their games, and you start the year and you think, who's going to throw a national championship game? And you turn it to Michael Roth. And the interesting thing about him, he drops down 3/4 against the lefties, and he's over the top against the righties. Very effective. Don't know how many innings you're going to get out of him.
They were hoping for 2 or 3. He went 9, gave up 3 hits, 1 run. Walked 1 and struck out 4. Doesn't get any better than that. Nico Gallego will lead it off against him. Gallego now 269 on the season. And pops it into shallow left, and quickly Marzilli comes on to make the catch. 1 gone. South Carolina defense number 21 in the country. Marzilli, Jackie Bradley Jr., who can really go get him in center, and Merrifield in right. Around the infield, Morales, Haney, and Wingo have been really good up the middle, although Wingo was shaky last night, and Walker at first. Behind the plate, Kyle Enders. Good receiver and a really good arm that shuts down most of the running games. Amaral stands in. Had a hot start at the College World Series. Cooled off a little bit, all the way down to 368, if that's cooling off. He's 7 out of 19 here in Omaha. A couple of doubles and a couple of RBIs, and the shadows again a factor. You would think that would be magnified by left-hander against left-hander.
It's also magnified when you have a guy on the mound that changes arm angles. It's hard enough to pick up the ball, but now you've got to look for different arm slots also for Bo Amaral.
Well, left-handed hitters went 1 for 21 in the game that he pitched against Clemson.
1 for 21 isn't very good, is it?
1 for 21's not going to get it done.
And there is a left-handed presence in this lineup with Amaral hitting second, Cody Regis hitting fifth, and Rodriguez in the 9-hole. No balls and 2 strikes to freshman Bo Amaral.
Well, Michael Roth is very comfortable when a left-handed hitter is up there. That was his job. He was the left-handed specialist on the weekends, and the most amazing thing about that start going 9 innings is just the fact that that's what he was. He's just looking for an inning or two. He actually warmed up like a reliever, not like a starter.
Slowly toward third. This will be tough. Morales can't make the play. That's do or die, and Amaral is on with a scratch hit. That's what happened to UCLA all last night.
I was going to say it might be that first base dugout the way this is looking. This looks a lot like last night, and this is just a fastball. It gets inside on Amaral, tries to fight it off out of there, gets jammed, and with the defense playing back with 2 strikes, you know, Morales has no chance to get Amaral run to first base.
Amaral has 9 stolen bases, but that's in 19 tries this year. Very rare to see somebody under 50%. And his first move was headed back to first against the left-hander on that first pitch to Blair Dunlap.
I'll bet you there was somebody in that dugout saying, "Okay, boys, it's our night tonight." After that little dribbler came in for a base hit. I talked with Garrett Cole before the game, and he was frustrated, but a great head on his shoulders for a kid that has got so much ability, wants to learn. He would have kept me there in front of the dugout talking pitching for the whole game. He didn't care. We were just in a zone, and coming off of a frustrating night like he had, to want to learn and to have his head up, that's a good sign.
Ripped back up the middle. Amaral will hold it second. Nothing cheap about that one off the bat of Dunlap. Roth has already pitched 3 times in the College World Series. This is his second start, and you virtually could not be any better than he has been. His earned run average 0.79 in his 3 appearances.
And the good thing for Michael Roth is he's facing a different team. The tough thing is he's coming off a magical outing that he's trying to repeat.
Misses outside to Espy.
If it was against the same team, it would be even harder, doubly tough. But to repeat a magical outing and then immediately be put on your heels in the first inning, it can kind of feel like, you know what, maybe my luck's run out. He's going to battle, but you fight that mentally.
Espy has 7 hits here in Omaha. That one just missed outside. The umpiring crew behind the plate is Gus Rodriguez. As you see the numbers on Espy, he's had a very good year. David Savage is down at first. Mark Ditzworth, the second base umpire. A.J. Lastaglio at third. Chris Koski down the left field line, and Jim Jackson down the right field line. And these are guys who have to be so honored to get this assignment to be umpiring in the College World Series Finals. And these are men who sincerely love the game of baseball. That's why they're here.
And I would say over the course of this year, it's the fewest times that we've questioned calls.
Been very good, hasn't it? This one's fouled out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Espy. It's hard to get a handle on Roth as far as being a power pitcher or that kind of thing, because he is a situational left-hander. He's got a lot more strikeouts than maybe he would against a conventional lineup.
Well, he was recruited as a hitter, first baseman. And then pitching became the primary thing that they had him do once they gave him the situational role. They really found out that his stuff played up when it was left on left. But as a starter, he was really not seen as that type of pitcher. He was more seen as a first baseman hitter. But he really fell into the role of situational lefty when they saw his effectiveness.
3-2. They've got him picked off at second base. Amaral wandered off the bag, and Roth got him.
Well, you really have to have your head up knowing that he's got to go to home plate, and you really have to rely on your hitter to keep and protect you. And right here, Amaral gets caught on a reverse move from Roth, and you really just at second base have to make sure that he goes home.
Runner goes, but it's ball 4. So we'll have runners at first and second again, but this time with 2 out as Dunlap advances. And we'll see how big a play that was based on the at-bat for Cody Regis.
Well, that pickoff for me, you know, when Roth is looking at this lineup, he has Cody Regis coming up next. It now allows him to throw that changeup to Espy and not really worrying about walking somebody, because you now have Regis and he feels pretty comfortable against the lefties.
Kid with power, great promise as a freshman from Glendora, California. Has a home run out here and 5 RBIs in Omaha, part of his 47 for the season. Roth with a chance now to get out of this jam in the first inning. Drops down, bounced to second. They'll get the easy force. Pickoff was a huge play. 2 hits in the inning and a walk, but 2 left and no score for South Carolina. Welcome back to the College World Series. We'll go to the bottom of the first. And let's take a look at the Capital One starting lineup for the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Marzilli in left, Merrifield in right. The Fleet center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. hits third. Walker, Morales, Adam Matthews in the DH spot tonight. Enders, Haney, and Wingo complete the lineup.
And the freshman cleanup hitter batted .346 for these Gamecocks, led them in the SEC this year.
Rasmussen, the left-hander, pitched earlier in the College World Series, got knocked around a little bit oral, but that was on 12 days rest.
12 days rest, knocked off the rust. He doesn't want these Bruins to get knocked off tonight. He will look to respond. A second-round draft pick for the Florida Marlins, 90-93. Kind of a quick arm. Had a 6.45 ERA as a sophomore, but here he is as a junior. Made big steps in summer ball. Added a cutter and a changeup, and he has been on his game this year.
One of the 3 aces for that UCLA pitching staff. They hope to get to Bauer tomorrow night. Here is Evan Marzilli to lead it off, the left-handed left fielder. And he fouls one out of play down the third baseline on the first pitch. Marzilli with that average up to .384. Remember, this was a kid who only had 12 starts coming into the College World Series. Put in the lineup, made them more athletic at the end of the year, and he has really responded. Only played 62 games, but only 18 of them were starts, and he still doesn't have 100 at bats this year.
You think of what Ray Tanner would think of this young man as a freshman, to be a utility player, play some time at second and third, be mostly a defensive replacement. Now it's a left-on-left situation for the national championship, and he's still leading off.
Maybe that's why. He has been on fire since they put him in the starting lineups. He started with a regional, hit .600 there, and he hasn't let up. Here's the Bruins 54th in the country in defense. That's not particularly good. Joe Bonazzo in left, Amaral in center. Krill gets the start in right. Brown at third, Gallego, Regis at second, and Espy moves from third to first. Rodriguez behind the plate. A lot of those changes brought on by the fact that Tyler Ramatula is a really, really good player for them, and their starting second baseman was hurt in the dog pile, broke a wrist in the Super Regional, so he has not been available. There's Ramatula with that broken right wrist, and he is simply out of the College World Series. I mean, just a terrible, tough break for that kid and for UCLA.
Well, he was also their 3-hole hitter, so it wasn't like he just hit a home run. He was right in the middle of that lineup.
Whit Merrifield stands in.
You know, and up until last night, that injury had not hurt them defensively. They had not made an error. The two gentlemen that came in to flip-flop at second and third base. And they were hitting very well, too. The combination was hitting around 380, but it came up to bite him last night. And it's a huge inning right here for the Bruins. After the base-running blunder, to put a 0 on the board and make sure that that doesn't spiral them down.
Merrifield with 14 sacrifice bunts this year. Leads the team, got a good one down there. And moves Marzilli into scoring position. Ray Tanner brought this team here before in his 14th season as the South Carolina head coach. A sparkling record, his 4th appearance, but the first since 2004 for this club. South Carolina as a school has finished second 3 times, but neither South Carolina nor UCLA has won college baseball's top prize, and Jackie Bradley Jr. is a guy you've got to be very, very careful with. He's already had some big hits out here in Omaha, riding a 22-game hit streak. Robin, you know all about hit streaks. The ball's got to, you have to have good vision. You have to be seeing it really well to go that far.
Well, you also have to be seeing it well against both sides of the mound as far as pitchers. You know, whoever's throwing left or right, you just feel good, and that's really where he's at coming into this College World Series. He just hits everybody, left or right.
When you had your 58-game hitting streak, did you face a lot of lefties?
Oral. That was like, I mean,
you don't remember?
I don't.
Oh, I think you would know every at bat.
No, sorry.
No,
I know you probably remember every hitter. I don't.
I'm not like Jim Palmer. Now,
No.
Jim Palmer can remember every pitch he threw in his whole career, I think.
I couldn't even tell you the teams, most of the teams that we played.
What difference does it make? You had a 58-game hitting streak. Got away momentarily from Rodriguez, but not far enough for Marzilli to advance. Nine games here in Omaha. He only hit .459 and drove in 8.
Can we find a new picture, please?
I was going to say,
somebody.
I've never seen eyebrows on you. Somebody.
Struck him out. Had him out in front a couple of times.
Well, he had a breaking ball 1-0 that he threw him for just a basic strike, and then he comes back with kind of the turbo, the big curve ball. So you have a slider that's thrown from the strike from that same window, but then you have the bigger break, and when you have those shadows, I'm sure as a hitter it is very hard to pick up which one's going to be the big curveball and which one's going to be the slider. You're having a tough enough time just trying to pick up the spin.
Now Christian Walker with 2 out and Marzilli at first. Walker with power, had the game-winning home run in the Super Regional, one of 9 he's hit this year. 3rd on the team in RBIs with 51.
And we can talk about all the bloops from last night, but they hit a couple balls. They squared up a couple balls when the wind was blowing in. It was howling in pretty good. And the wind held it up. So they do have power.
And those 2 balls probably would have accounted for, 3 or 4 runs. So it almost balanced the books as far as breaks.
Walker with 2 runs out here and a .400 batting average. So he has been hot as well as Bradley has. Rasmussen trying to get out of trouble in the first, just as his counterpart Roth did in the top of the inning.
Come on, Christian. Go, buddy.
To center field, hangs up long enough for Amaral to get there. They'll strand 1. And at the end of 1 full at the College World Series, UCLA and South Carolina are scoreless. Decker on his horse. Holy cow, what a catch! Are you kidding me? Crushed to dead center field. Grand slam! 3-2 pitch. Base hit in right field. Jackie Bradley Jr. delivered for the Gamecocks. Up the middle, base hit. They're going to wave Bradley around. And South Carolina wins. And they're still alive. Both of these teams have come back from the brink in this elimination tournament in the NCAA. UCLA in the Super Regional needed a 2-run home run to win, and then South Carolina faced its moment here in the College World Series, as on June 12th they were down to their last strike. So both understand pressure, but the pressure tonight squarely falls on UCLA. They have to force a game 3. This is Brett Krill to lead it off in the second inning. And UCLA, as there's a beach ball on the field, may be forced to look back at that first inning where they got 2 hits and a walk, but the pickoff at second base killed the rally.
Mental errors in these 2 championship games so far, and we've only played 10 innings, but they have been significant for UCLA.
This is Amaral. Wandered too far off of second base. Scorched. Back up the middle. Nearly took Roth with it. Krill hit a bullet. That's the 3rd hit off of the left-handed starter.
Well, I think that's going to be the interesting thing tonight, is how Roth pitches against righties. There were so many lefties in that Clemson game, and how comfortable do you think he is, Oral, throwing to righties after being a pretty much a specialist all year?
Well, not only that, I think it is hard for him to face righties. And the other thing I think it's hard is to throw that many pitches. Think about the dead arm stage that we always talk about coming out of spring training. Well, he threw more pitches than he's ever thrown in his life. And he threw the most intense pitches he's ever thrown in the biggest game of his life in an unexpected situation. And now the next outing comes, 3 days rest. You can have a little bit of a flat tire.
And you're asking him to do exactly the same thing. Chris Giovinazzo stands in. Krill down at first.
And I'm not down on the selection of having him pitch. I'm just kind of building the mountain that he has to climb, and it'd be great accomplishment if he responds with the same type of outing.
There's one thing to do it when it's not expected. When you are asked to give 2 or 3 innings, hey, that went well, how about one more? Hey, that was good, how about one more? Now the expectation is, well, you did it once, 9 innings, 3 hits, you really shut him down. Let's go out there, Tiger, and give me one more of those.
Well, I don't know if they like the nickname Tiger.
Gamecock, how's that?
Okay, Clemson, they don't like them.
Freudian slip on my part. 3 balls and no strikes to Giovinazzo.
The crowd is trying to figure out who to root for. It's very sedate in here. It's just...
Strike called. Boy, you couldn't beg, borrow, or steal a ticket to last night or to tonight. If it goes to a third game, it'll be the same situation. Everybody wants to be part of the last dance at Rosenblatt. Where South Carolina would prefer there not be a Wednesday night game. Runner goes, ball 4. Second walk issued by Roth. He only gave up 1 walk in that 3-hit gem against Clemson.
Well, Ray Tanner can make a selection to go with the bullpen today, and there we see a little action, because you could turn Michael Roth into your left-handed specialist tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So if there is a game tomorrow, you're making a decision on him for not only today, but also tomorrow.
Really, for South Carolina, there's another way to look at this. You were in a no-lose situation the first time you pitched Roth. You figure you get a couple innings, that's a bonus. You're going to try to string some guys together out of the bullpen. He gives you a brilliant effort, you win. You come out tonight, if he gives you a couple of good innings, so much the better. And you're right, he would be available as your left-handed specialist in the championship game tomorrow. There's Blake Cooper, who was outstanding in his own right. Well, 136 pitches against UCLA last night. And he is not a power guy, but look at that. Struck out 10, walked only 1. He just knew what he was doing.
And I made a mistake last night reading my notes. I said that he was undrafted. He was drafted in the 12th round by the Arizona Diamondbacks. He has a professional career ahead of him.
Good. Here's Trevor Brown, the freshman from Valencia, California, making his 14th start. He's had 1 at bat here in Omaha. He's 0 for 1. Let's see if they want him to sacrifice. Wasn't showing it there.
Well, one thing about Roth is he is a first baseman. So if you are going to sacrifice, I feel like you should bunt this to the first baseman, because he's going to be able to get off the mound and field it like he normally would at first base and possibly get the runner at third.
2 on, nobody out. Lays it down the third baseline. It goes foul. Rick Vanderhook, who was the hitting coach in charge of that part of the game for UCLA, a longtime West Coast assistant at Cal State Fullerton. He's made a big difference in their approach and their success.
Well, UCLA just looking to jab at South Carolina. They don't need the big knockout punch right now. They've had enough disappointment so far. They're just looking to jab at them, get a run, get things started.
Two balls and a strike to Trevor Brown. 286 hitter on the year, 1 home run, driven in 9.
Now, sometimes you wonder why they don't have him bunt and then they have him bunt. And I think what they're trying to do is get him a fastball to hit.
Chopped up the middle, could be 2 on the second for the force. To first double play. Krill moves on to third. So Roth, instead of the sacrifice, induces Brown to bounce into a 6-4-3 double play.
Well, it's not how hard you throw it, it's how they hit it. And this is just a tailor-made double play that, you know, Roth just finds them, and you can see right here, Haney just goes a nice flip to Wingo. You know, nothing really fancy. And for Roth, he's just getting himself, letting his defense work. He's got a good defense. He doesn't have to strike people out, just hit a ground ball.
South Carolina has executed 7 double plays in the College World Series. Of course, the beauty of baseball is after he hits it in a double play, all the critics will say, I told you you were supposed to sacrifice there.
I like the sacrifice there because it gets South Carolina on their heels. It gets UCLA maybe an easy scratch run. Get them on top someplace they haven't been in this championship series.
Well, I like it from the standpoint is that Brown's your number 8 hitter. If he sacrifices, then you've got a guy like Rodriguez. If he puts the ball in play, you're ahead 1-0. Now, I've always felt that getting a lead early, especially in a situation like this, is bigger than it would be any other day.
I tell you, it calms the nerves as a pitcher. As a starting pitcher, you love to break on top. It opens up your pitch selection. It opens up everything that you feel out there and gets your rhythm going.
Rodriguez has struggled here in Omaha, hitting only .214. 3 hits and 14 trips. And he's in a 1-2 hole against the left-hander Michael Roth. Crossfire so tough against the left-hander.
Well, that's the thing as a left-handed hitter. You have to have the discipline to keep your front shoulder in, and your first reaction as soon as a guy drops down, as you can see right here, Michael Roth, it's not a full underneath submarine, but it's enough that his elbow comes through first, and you're trying to just find where the ball comes from, and you have to keep your shoulder in. Otherwise, you have no chance on that slider away.
Spoiled. And once the shoulder goes, everything goes with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, that's what you want on that inside pitch, because if you're pulling out on that inside pitch, he is now going to go ahead and drop that slider on the outer half. So sometimes you just have to take, the beating inside of just fouling it off and, hitting jam shots until you get one out over the plate.
Another 1-2. Little dribbler, Roth dives and stops it and throws him out from his knees. Roth gets out of another jam. Gets a double play with runners at first and second, and then takes care of Rodriguez by himself. The former first baseman coming out in the left-handed pitcher. Fresno State is Cinderella in cleats. This is the lowest seeded team to make the national championship ever.
And as he charged up in this final game,
ball hit to deep right, and it's gone. Hit to deep left. A 3-run shot for Detweiler. He does it again. Cinderella wins the national championship. California teams, of course, have had such great success out here, led by Southern California under the legendary Rod Dedeaux. 12 titles, 2 runner-ups. But look at the others. Cal State Fullerton with 4, Stanford with a pair, Cal with 2, Fresno State, Pepperdine. Pepperdine was fun, so was Fresno State. And UCLA trying to join that list. South Carolina, of course, representing another power conference, the SEC. And Adrian Morales will stand in to start the inning for the Gamecocks, the junior from Hialeah, Florida. Rasmussen misses outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Strike call. Morales, one of those guys who started his career at Miami-Dade Community College, a program that has long been known for sending players on to Division I baseball. And his biggest supporters were the other junior college coaches that he had to face. They told the South Carolina coaches when they were scouting, we just hate to play against this guy. It's a great selling point.
There's always those guys you hate to see come up on the other team, and you always want them on your team.
He's had some clutch hits this year. One of those players who has been able to get the most out of his ability. Two right here against Rasmussen. 6 hits, including a home run here at the College World Series. Up and in, full count. The wind, by the way, not nearly the factor that it was last night. Knocked down a lot of balls. Sort of swirling a little bit, mostly to left and in.
We saw a lot of balls in batting practice hit a long way.
Breaking pitch fisted down to first. Espy will take it unassisted. If necessary, the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One will continue on ESPN tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern start. UCLA and South Carolina in Game 3. That is if it's necessary in the College World Series Finals. Of course, all of us thinking about, will this be the final game at Rosenblatt? Will it get one more night?
Oh.
Of course, it will be turned over to the Omaha Royals, who call this home. And there's Bauer, who in the faded cap, who would go tomorrow night in the championship game. And it's not just the faded cap. It's a litany of other things that would be fun to show you again. This one is tapped right back to the mound. Rasmussen underhand.
He's out. Perpetual motion, Mr. Bauer. Whether he's pitching or sitting there on the bench, we've got him occupied with the chart right now to keep him under control.
Well, here are some of the things he does. Saturday, it was blazing hot, and this is what, an hour and 15 minutes before the game started? But the long toss was my favorite. He went out to the right field corner and let one fly. Speaking of flying, this one is hooked down to the left field corner, but foul. Kyle Enders drilled it. I mean, you don't see anybody do this, not an hour before they're getting ready to pitch. All the way to the other corner. And he was wearing long sleeves, 110 degrees, the full leggings. I mean, there are some outfielders who can't make that throw.
I wanted to see the guy that was going to throw it back to him. I don't know if they had a cutoff man or not, but
the most amazing thing to me is he's not left-handed.
Yeah.
Left-handed would be perfect.
Certainly should be.
And the hat is bleached because it goes on the dash of the car. From practice to game to whatever day, that's his gamer. And the California sun has taken its toll on it.
And tonight he's wearing short sleeves because it's nice and cool. Down to third, foul. But when you talk to him, Aaron Andrews did an interview with him, perfectly normal. I mean, I guess it's just it's my night to pitch and I am not going to be normal. I'm doing what I normally do.
And the expected starter for tomorrow, but I would say if this game is very close, you get out of a jam, or if they go extra innings to get to tomorrow, he's available.
He went to John Savage this morning, said, I got an inning if you need me. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Kyle Enders. We're in the second. Scoreless. South Carolina and UCLA. Another foul outside third.
If he pitched tonight, he just cut back on a few long tosses tomorrow before his start.
I don't think he'd cut back on it either.
Yeah, I mean, that routine is set.
I'm surprised there's not a surfboard.
It's set, probably the length and how many things he'll do, but I'm not sure the order is set. Or what he'll come up with next.
No.
Checked his swing. And it's 3-2 to Kyle Enders, the senior from Greer, South Carolina.
Did I read that we're now over 7.5 million people that have watched baseball here at Rosenblatt?
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I think we crossed that threshold.
That one's in the dirt, and it gets away from Rodriguez on ball 4, but Anders knows he's not going to be able to advance. Just goes down to first. That is the first base on balls issued by Rasmussen. Keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series. Log on to NCAA.com. It is your official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. This will give Bobby Haney a chance to hit, the senior shortstop. He's out of Smithtown, New York. Well, our daily notes just handed to me. 7,518,299 people have watched the College World Series at Rosenblatt. Robin, thank you so much.
I think they might have missed one. We think it's 300. Just round up.
We want to be specific. Haney 5 for 22 here in Omaha. But he's driven in 3. Some other numbers for you. 108 schools have been here. Played almost 900 games. 23 different champions. 3 triple plays. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Haney.
You think they count mascots?
You know, in baseball, they count everything.
I mean, you know, you got
probably
the
knows how many
Maniac.
mascots.
Cocky?
Well, there's how many schools were there? So you have that many different mascots. That's easy.
108 schools.
All right, you have 108 mascots.
Don't all come. They don't all come. The Miami Maniac would come every year.
You think that there was a school here that didn't bring their mascot?
I believe that's true.
Okay, 108. There were 3 triple plays. I don't think there were 3 mascots missing.
Let's get the research department on it. This one to shallow center field. Could be trouble. Amaral comes on and drops. It'll be runners at first and third as Haney bloops one into center field. Now for UCLA, that has to be reminiscent of last night.
Well, you get down to the bottom of this order with South Carolina, and you got Bobby Haney, and you got Scott Wingo, and they don't hit it very hard, but they battle every time going up to the plate, and that's, you know, just one that falls in for you. It's not a scorching liner into center, but it's very effective and painful if you're UCLA.
The second hit allowed by Rasmussen, and now Wingo, who was only hitting 118 out here in Omaha, 250 for the season. A kid that hit 9 home runs until April 30th, and then the faucet was turned off. Hasn't hit one since. South Carolina, 6 hits with 2 outs, and 5 of the 7 runs scored on. Check swing, foul. They even had one of those, a line drive check swing that dropped down the left field line. They had everything.
Well, those right there, if you're UCLA, it makes your heart skip a beat.
Exactly.
Just the sound of that, of a guy, you know, that you just feel like it's going to happen over again. So you take a deep breath once you see it go foul.
UCLA they were gentlemen in losing, but it was kind of a backhanded compliment when they asked about the offense. They said, well, they did a good job not striking out. They just made contact.
Yeah.
You know, Garrett Cole was getting ahead of them 0-1, 1-2, 0-2, and then they just did a good job not striking out against a guy who struck out 13 in his outing before. And they put the ball in play, and it just happened to find some holes.
First and third, 2 outs here in the South Carolina second inning. In the dirt, good block by Rodriguez. He has very quietly had an outstanding series.
Kind of like an umpire. When you don't notice them, you know they're doing well.
And broke up Cooper's no-hit bid yesterday. Huge gap in right center field for Wingo if he could pull one. Amaral is playing him as far into left center as you're ever going to see anybody. That was a called strike.
Well, we blinked through that one right there. This is a call in about 2 or 3 games that I would have to say was wrong. It was right there. And you lose the force out at second now with 3 and 2. So now you've got to get your out at first base only.
Boy, you're right. That was right there. Walked him. And they are loaded. Sometimes umpires get fooled, but that's a heck of a time to have it happen.
And sometimes when you think you missed one, sometimes the next borderline one goes your way. And that's what I thought might happen here on this 3-2 pitch. Not make up, but close enough to be a strike.
It'll bring up Marzilli, the leadoff hitter, who singled to start the ball game. Rasmussen thought he had a strikeout and was out of the inning. And right now they're waiting on Gus Rodriguez to go out to the mound. Didn't look like anybody said anything when Rodriguez came out and broke up the meeting. Of course, you can't argue balls and strikes.
I think he just wanted to make sure he got 1 or 2 words in, so he knew, you know, so everybody is aware of what just took place.
Rasmussen already having his pitch count up to 42. Lefty against lefty with the bases loaded and 2 out. Fastball fouled away. And Marzilli went up there hacking.
Well, especially if you're South Carolina and you feel like you might have gotten one there, you should be swinging. You should be aggressive going up there trying to swing the bat. Because like Oral said, you know, the tendency is to get the borderline pitch.
To straightaway center field, but right at Bo Amaral. So Rasmussen gets out of a jam. And we've played 2 tension-packed innings. Nothing. UCLA, South Carolina.
A scoreless game here in Omaha, Nebraska. South Carolina's Mike Roth back on the mound for the Gamecocks. And it was Mike Roth who shared with us after his complete game in a post-game interview with me that South Carolina, the players, the coaches, and all their fans, very heavy hearts for a young man, 7 years old, Baylor Teal. Baylor was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago and became a part of this South Carolina Gamecocks family. He threw out a first pitch in March and became very close to many members on this team. And as South Carolina was getting ready to make their way to Omaha, Nebraska, Baylor's health took a turn for the worse. He actually ended up passing away the night before Mike Roth threw that complete game. Many members of this baseball team wearing BT on their uniforms, and the Teal family, Mike, actually in attendance here in Omaha. They are guests of the Gamecocks. They actually were on a chartered plane yesterday to try to make it here, cheer on these guys who are very much dedicating this College World Series to young Baylor Teal.
Aaron, that is such remarkable courage on their part. And our thoughts go out to them. We wish them all the best. Gallego leading it off in the third, fouls it off. And there they are with Jackie Bradley Jr. with one of the mementos I'm sure they will treasure forever. You look down at that field, the way the sun is setting, the green grass, the dirt to baseball uniforms. If you like baseball, just like it. I mean, look at this. This is just spectacular. And these are really good baseball uniforms. I mean, not some of the goofy stuff you see, you know, that makes it look like you're with a prison softball team. These are really good unis.
Well, the only thing missing is a cornfield out in center field.
Absolutely. Top of the third. Well, you can just feel the tension in this game. I mean, both clubs have had their chances already. Who's going to crack?
Well, I know a few people will crack if it's the last game. There will be fans with tears in their eyes leaving this lovely lady. Even our broadcast buddy Robin might get a tear. He's been here a few years, doing a wonderful job.
Shadows no longer a factor. Gallego knocks another one foul.
Visiting with the Bruins before the game, they were having no part of this being the last game. They didn't even want it mentioned.
Well, they reacted pretty well to all these strange things that happened to him last night. Even Garrett Cole, he said, hey, that's baseball.
Yep.
Went after a high fastball, couldn't catch up. The first strikeout for Roth. Stay tuned. After the break, we will have a special announcement from Lowe's regarding the winner of the 2010 Senior Class Award. The award celebrates the loyalty of seniors that honor their 4-year commitment to their university. The Senior Class Award recognizes these student athletes for great achievement during competition and in the classroom while staying in school. And it's nice to see those guys rewarded as well. Amaral had an infield single his first time up. Topped one down the third baseline. Perfectly placed. That's a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes to Amaral. 1 on, or 1 out and nobody on here in the third. That one is hit inside the bag fair. Down into the corner. Amaral on his way to second. Marzilli's throw not in time. So Amaral hitting in this game the way he started the College World Series when they couldn't get him out.
Well, this is the key here, is you have to have the discipline to keep that front shoulder in and not try and pull it. And he does a nice job of staying on it, and it's placed perfectly inside that third baseline.
Marzilli got over there in a hurry, but Amaral with good enough speed to cruise into second base. First extra base hit in the championship series in the College World Series Finals. And now Dunlap, who singled back through the box his first time up. Heart of the order here with Dunlap and Espy on deck. There's Dean Espy. Foul outside third. Dunlap a year ago was his team's starting center fielder. Made him the DH this year. On the ground to the shortstop. Haney to his left and throws him out. 2 gone. Amaral advances to third with 2 down. And it will be up to Espy.
If you're UCLA, you almost feel like Roth gets away with one. If you got a guy in scoring position, you have a righty up there. because you know he's so effective against those lefties. He can now really pitch around Espy if he wants to get to Regis, who is a left-hander. So you almost feel like you lose something if you get out against him right-handed.
Good block that time by Enders. It appears that he has been much more careful pitching to right-handers and much more aggressive going after the lefties. Of course, that was his being a left-handed specialist. You would expect that.
When you're trying to just get through innings and not conserve pitches and to get deep in the game, but just every out is important. Every inning it's important to put a 0 up. You can start pitching around and looking for outs and getting through innings. And I'm sure that they have told him it's go as far as you can go. Don't worry about repeating the 9 innings and conserving anything. Just find your outs, get through innings, get us some 0s, and we're right behind you if you need us.
51 pitches so far. They may be looking at Roth in a different light for next year, instead of just being a lefty versus lefty specialist. Took something off and had Espy way out in front. 2-2. He has been the most frequently used pitcher. A lot of throws in that arm, and he's not used to it. But he's certainly coming through for him, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's just keeping that ball in the outer half. He sinks it away, turns it over, curve ball. I mean, really just mixing it up against the righties. I think he's, you know, partly probably making it up as he's going along too, just because he hasn't seen him very much.
Got him on a 73-mile-an-hour changeup. UCLA has left 4 in this game, and Roth continues to put up goose eggs. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, a scoreless game at the College World Series. Well, if you're used to college baseball and that is your only knowledge of Omaha, Nebraska, we just showed you the snow, a brutal winter that they had out here, and they can get some beauties. But down it's summer, and it was 110 in the shade the other day, and there was no shade. That one is bunted foul by Merrifield. There you see some of the snow that had this field buried in January. Pretty good shape for all the work it gets with the Omaha Royals Farm Club here.
Well, I'm amazed after some of the rains we got early on in this tournament that, you know, they could turn it around. I mean, it's beautiful.
Grounds crew has always done a magnificent job. You would have expected with all the rain that it would have been a swamp in the outfield. Just literally a swamp. No balls and 2 strikes to Merrifield leading off the 3rd. He sacrificed his first time up. Rasmussen has allowed 5 base runners, 2 hits, 3 walks. No balls and 2 strikes to Merrifield from Advance, North Carolina. It's the young man that got run over in right field the other night and was down for quite a while. as he took a shoulder and a forearm from his second baseman on a pop-up. Just caught him squarely. And fortunately, it was much worse, looked much worse than it actually was. Hit hard on the ground, but right at the second baseman.
He's out.
The 2010 FIFA World Cup will continue on ESPN Friday. We have a pair of quarterfinal games for you. First at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the Netherlands against Brazil. Then at 2 Eastern, Uruguay against Ghana. The World Cup also available on TV, online, and on your phone. One out here in the third, and Jackie Bradley Jr., who struck out his first time, stands in against the left-hander Rasmussen. Since 1950, they have been coming here to play the College World Series. The first 3 years the NCAA controlled it. It was 2 years in Kalamazoo, Michigan, 1 year in Wichita, Kansas, and then moved to Omaha because the city wanted it, said they would support it, and boy, have they ever. Breaking pitch, hit hard, but at the first baseman Espy, he'll take it himself, 2 gone. Now it's time to reveal the 2010 Lowe's Senior Class Award winner. Daniel Babona from USC Irvine, the 2-time Big West Conference Pitcher of the Year, an All-American this season. He holds the UC Irvine record for career strikeouts. Graduated in June with a sociology degree and a 3.25 grade point average. Congratulations to Daniel Babona. Now Christian Walker. And Rasmussen seems to have settled in a little bit. The left-handed starter for the Bruins, who was one of their 3 aces this year, comes in with an 11-3 record, an ERA under 3.
His location tonight has been much better than when he faced TCU. He's driving the ball downhill tonight. He's got sharper break on his breaking pitches. His ball was coming out a little bit more flat, and it's very important at his height, he's under 6 foot, to throw that ball downhill, because if he throws it level, it's right in the strike zone on the plane of the bat. But you see him finish and drive that ball down. Even though he missed and walked the hitter, he's still throwing it downhill.
4th walk issued in the game, and Walker is on with 2 outs.
Well, I think right there he's concerned more with the power that Walker has than anything else. He's just going to make sure he's not going to throw a cookie in there and let him take a big rip at it.
Check at the 3rd walk issued by Rasmussen. To the shortstop, force at second base. Gallego to Regis, and the inning is over. We are scoreless through 3 at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. 0-0 through 3 at the College World Series. Let's go down to Erin Andrews. She has a special guest, UCLA football coach Rick Neuheisel.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. Yeah, it took you a while to get here in Omaha. I mean, come on. Fairfax, LA, and what, I'm bugging you text-wise. Great to have you out here. What finally made you come out?
Well, I saw Coach Spurrier on SportsCenter last night. I said, I got to get there. We had a couple things we had to handle on campus, but it's exciting to have UCLA here in Rosenblatt Stadium, the final series here. And we got to get this one done so we can get to Game 3.
What do you think of this place?
This is historic. It's just everything you associate with good and old school. This is perfect.
And you actually lettered in high school in Arizona, is that right? In baseball, yep. And he played 2 positions, center field and relief pitcher. You said you liked being a pitcher the best. You got to tell me why. Give us a good story. Come on.
Ball's in your hand every pitch. You get to figure it out. It's on you, and you get to bear down. I would have pitched all the time, but the DH had just come in. They wouldn't let you hit, so I said I want to hit a little, but I came in out of center field and hopefully put the fire out.
Coach is such a dedicated fan. He doesn't even have a hotel room yet, doesn't know where to go to dinner. I'm trying to give him the lay of the land. We've only been here for 14 weeks. Good to see you. Glad you came out.
Aaron, it's good to see you, and I'm glad everything went well in Los Angeles. You were great on that show.
Oh, well, thanks. You never came to visit, but that's fine.
What the heck's up with the injury?
Don't worry about it. Thanks, Coach. All right, guys.
There's Steve Spurrier, and his appearance apparently pushed Rick to make the trip from L.A. And when you think about UCLA playing up at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, historic venues when they play football, nothing unusual for them to play in great places. Pauley Pavilion, and now out here in Omaha. Regis leads it off here in the 4th. He grounded out his first time up. It'll be Regis, Krill, and Giovinazzo. Roth looking a little more comfortable out there as a starter, don't you think?
He's kind of avoided that bump, that early bump that could have taken him out of the game, and he's now pouring it in there, and he's got a little shadow back with him. So remember, we're leading off with a lefty here. But no matter how this game turns out, he's had an impressive College World Series.
Certainly has. Little crossfire. Hello, right back at him.
Yeah. Hey, take it out on the kid.
They don't practice these. These are just reaction. This is your ability. We have no coaches go out there and let's hit some screaming line drives back at our pitching staff so they get used to that one. That's something you do without practice.
I think part of that is he's a first baseman.
Yeah.
So, he sees balls hit at him, all the time.
Pretty good reaction there.
I think Cooper, caught one like that last night, too.
He did.
Yeah. A little higher up.
Here's Krill, who singled his first time up. They've been very good when they've taken the ball back up the middle against Roth. Krill, a 25th round draft choice of the Giants, goes after that and fouls it in the stands and right. Ramatula was a big loss for them, not only the starting second baseman, but right in the middle of their batting order. And here at the College World Series, 163, that's in the finals. So they've got to scratch out a run or do something to threaten the South Carolina Gamecocks. And when you're only 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, it's not threatening anybody. And Roth cuts Krill down.
He's been going soft with the breaking ball away, and here a little cutter, a fastball in, and he gets the corner.
Third strikeout for Michael Roth. He's walked 2, allowed 4 hits. The number that is of major concern to them, you would have to imagine, the 65 pitches he has already thrown. Although from the other side, anything he gives them beyond this is absolute gravy.
Oh, it is. I mean, for them, he's throwing 83, 84, and then a 68 to 70 mile an hour, changeup.
Yes, he did.
Tried to check his swing, did Giovinazzo, and went around.
Check that, 65 miles an hour. So it's not, you know, again, you sit there as an offense, and it is so frustrating because it's not like you're just getting blown away. It's you have no rhythm against him.
Two hops to the second baseman. Wingo throws him out. 3 up, 3 down for Roth. Settling in, and that's not good news for UCLA. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th in a scoreless game in Omaha. Welcome back to the NCAA College World Series, presented on ESPN by Capital One. They take the trophy around town to different locations, let people take a look at it. Guys that really want to look at it, and players from UCLA and South Carolina. Let's check in with Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. Talked to John Savage an inning ago about Rob Rasmussen. He's happy with what he's seen so far. I thought really the first start in the College World Series, the problem was more the rust, that he hadn't pitched in 12 days. A little bit quicker turnaround right here. That was interesting, though, between that inning. Gus Rodriguez works a lot of Pac-10 games. Worked the Pac-10 when I was playing at a Pac-10. He's back behind the plate. Came over and sought John Savage out in between innings. And there's been a couple close calls that I think Coach Savage was maybe questioning from the top step of the dugout, but he and Gus spent a lot of time in between that inning going back and forth. Kind of popped each other in the back and headed their own ways right before the start.
That was an interesting conversation. Ready to go here in the bottom of the 4th with Adam Matthews, the DH, who grounded back to the mound his first time up against Rasmussen. Skies this one to right center field. Krill looking up into the sun makes the catch for the first out. With every passing out in a 0-0 game, it's like the thumb screws just get tighter and tighter, and you're waiting for somebody to make the big play to break this game open.
And most games have a personality, and you can kind of see them as the game goes along. It kind of shows itself. And this one's just one of those ones that you're waiting for something to just happen. And I think both teams, you just want something to happen, or somebody to score. You know, a gapper, getting the scoring position, just something to show itself.
Enders walked his first time up as South Carolina rallied in the second inning, but did not score. That'll make a nice souvenir from the last trip to Rosenblatt. Breaking pitch, fouled away. Used a phrase the other night, a comfortable collar or a comfortable 0 for 4. It looks like both of these guys can provide that. I mean, nobody is throwing high heat, but they're not scoring against either one of them. 0-2 to Enders, and that's inside.
Yeah, there's some difference in the two styles here. You've got a kind of a soft tossing lefty, and then Rasmussen on the Bruins is a little quicker arm, 90 to 93. He can reach it, and then the breaking balls are a little different.
Back to the mound, Rasmussen. 2 outs. Keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information by logging on to NCAA.com. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. 2 quickly out here in the bottom of the 4th for the Gamecocks. And Bobby Henry, who singled, or Bobby Haney, who singled his first time up, gets another at bat, lefty against lefty. Shallow center and drops just over the outreach glove of Gallego. So Haney twice has hit it very softly to center field and gotten them both in there.
I think at some point you might have to put a fielder right there. By the way,
that's that 10th softball outfielder.
Yeah, it's just one of those. He just finds that spot right there,
and he does it with a full swing, so it freezes the outfielder at first. It's the full swing off the end of the bat. Loop hit.
And Amaral cannot play much shallower in center field, and he still can't get there.
Well, that freezes the infield.
Yeah.
Wingo stands in, 1 on 2 out. And action in the UCLA bullpen because the pitch count starting to climb for Rasmussen as well. Claypool, a very good relief pitcher, up for the second time for the Bruins. And there's the pitch count at 67. Still got plenty of room.
And it's the possible last game for your university this year. There's plenty of room in that pitch count, and there's a quick hook, and then there's a precise hook, and then there's a we have to go get him. And I don't think you'll ever get to we'll have to go get him, because that means you've given up too many runs in a game that you need to win.
Just saw John Savage calling the pitches from the dugout, and seated next to him would be tomorrow night's starter. The man in the faded cap, Cole Bauer, or Trevor Bauer, excuse me.
Very comfortable if UCLA can win this game, because they'd have to be the favorite with the NCAA strikeout leader on the mound, and it would get more uncomfortable for South Carolina knowing that that's what they would get to if they can't win tonight.
Problem for UCLA is scoring runs and getting to that third game. They have been shut down by South Carolina's pitching.
Yeah, we've talked so much about UCLA's pitching, but they have been outpitched by Carolina throughout the whole College World Series.
If you come inside to Wingo, he will just take one for the team. Holds the school record. Hit by a pitch 48 times. How were you with wearing one for the team?
Every once in a while you wear one, but they're not always fun.
He didn't wear it very well.
Another pop-up. This one will stay on the infield, and Gallego, the shortstop, will make the play. We have played 4 and scoreless. The Gamecocks and the Bruins in Omaha, the College World Series.
Welcome to Rosenblatt Stadium and to Omaha.
I remember having to step off the mound and think to myself, I mean, this is the College World Series. I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life. It's so special because it's young kids playing for something they believe in, and the town embraces it. You know, it is an event, and it's absolutely something you have to see.
Houston Street was nails when he closed out South Carolina in 2002. Now Ray Tanner has the Gamecocks back, 1 win away from their first title. Houston Street, the star then, and Ray Tanner is down there with Aaron.
Thanks, Mike. Coach, you told me before the game you felt Mike Roth had the hot hand. What do you think of what he's doing out there so far?
Well, he's doing okay. He's teeter-tottered a little bit out there, but he picked the guy off and he got a double play ball. He may be getting close to his limit, but he's battling for us.
What are you looking for, maybe, to see if you're going to take him out at all?
Well, I just think these righties are getting a pretty good look at him right now. He's doing okay against the lefties, but we got some guys down in the bullpen. We got to work on some matchups probably in the future here.
And finally, your offense, what is it going to take to maybe get it going?
Well, Rasmussen has made some pitches when he's needed to. We've had a couple of good passes out there, but he's thrown some good breaking balls in tough situations, and you know, hopefully we can bunch a few and get some runs here.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, Mike.
Aaron, thank you very much. Roth is not allowed a run, has given up 4 hits, walked a pair. and struck out 3. He's been a little more efficient lately. Last inning, 3 up and 3 down, only faced 4 batters in the 3rd. And Trevor Brown will lead it off here in the 8th. That ball will reach the seats. Brown grounded into a big double play his first time up. Had runners in first and second after a single and a walk, and grounded into an easy 6-4-3 twin killing. This one is chopped to deep short. Haney on the grass. Not in time. Brown hustled down the line and beat it out.
Remember that play, because the subtle things can sometimes cost you a game.
Well, we've always talked about the ball bouncing and bounding out into the outfield, and this is just a ground ball that bounces, and it bounced so far out that Haney takes his time and goes backwards. He loses ground on that runner running to first base and doesn't have the arm to make up for it or the quickness to make up for it. Instead of coming in and getting it on a short hop and closing that ground, he allows Brown to beat out that throw.
Good job by Trevor Brown, never giving up on a play and hustling.
I've had many a big league shortstop talk about when the hop is over my eyes, I know I can charge it. I've got time. When the hop is below my eyes, those big hops, they have a tendency, they know that's quicker and they can back up a little bit and still have time. And that ball was definitely over his head when that ball was chopped.
We saw that last night with the second baseman Wingo, backed up into short right field and couldn't make a play.
Yeah, and you can see how far he's out onto the outfield, and it just becomes such a long throw that you're allowing that runner time to get to first base, and sometimes you just can't make it up.
Rodriguez has sacrificed successfully 9 times this year, and he is showing bunt here. Hitting 200 in Omaha.
Well, Morales is coming very close once Rodriguez squares around, and with the possibility of a slash.
Bunted down the first base line, only one play, and that's to get Rodriguez. Good sacrifice for the first out, and Brown advances to second base. And it gets the top of the order back up.
When you have a right-handed hitter up with Nico Gallego, and he's flown out to left and struck out, but you really want to go after him, because Bo Amaral, even though he's a lefty on deck, is 2 for 2 with a base hit and a double. So it's not like, well, maybe we pitch around this guy and set up the double play with the left-handed batter coming up. You're really at a point where the righty is going to get some pitches.
We're in the 5th of a scoreless ball game. Gallego fists one into shallow left center. That's going to drop. And Brown is going to score the first run of the game. Gallego comes through with an RBI single. Well, you said it, Oral. That's a big play, that infield single.
Well, you're looking at a ball to drive if you're Nico Gallego, and he just pulls his hands through, puts his head right on the ball, and just, as you can see, he just pulls that barrel through there. It's not crushed. It's hit right in the right spot, falls in for a hit, and a big boost for UCLA.
UCLA gets the kind of break perhaps that South Carolina got last night on a ball that wasn't hit that hard on the infield single, and then a well-placed fly ball that drops in left center.
And Ray Tanner would say that was a duck snort. We haven't had any duck snorts tonight.
Lawn dart. He has a few of them. He has a few of them out there. That
some new vernacular, some vocabulary that we're picking up.
I like duck snort. That's good.
That one's been around a while. I've heard that one before. I guess you have to hit them. You know, usually when you do those things, you hear about them. So
no wonder you didn't know about it.
I used to hit those balls.
I know about them.
Were like hit with a newspaper, rolled up newspaper.
An opportunity perhaps for Gallego to run as Amaral comes up. Nico has 27 steals. Of course, he's facing a left-hander. Crossfires a called strike.
Now this is really the one time, if you're Bo Amaral, you can allow yourself to open up a little bit and use that hole in that first base side with the first baseman holding the runner on. You don't have to be as disciplined and try and hit the ball up the middle or the other way. You do have that hole to work with.
That rollover ground ball pays dividends right here.
Amaral 2 for 2 so far tonight, pair of singles. Big play back in the second. He was picked off the second base.
Safe.
Roth working in his 4th game in the 2010 College World Series. After coming in as the left-handed relief specialist he had been all year, as they have Gallego picked off, throw down to second base, and he's gone. Only the second time all year Gallego has been thrown out trying to steal, and he appeared to go on the first move by Roth, and he was dead.
Well, as a runner on first base, there's 2 ways to go. You can either read it, or he's going on the first move, and you can see he has his head down. He wasn't even, waiting to see if he was coming over or not.
So Gallego, the second out of the inning, as he's caught stealing, and now it's Amaral in there at 0 for 2. UCLA trying to put the pressure on after getting the first run of the ball game, but it backfires on them. Back up the middle. Haney, the shortstop, in front of second, and throws him out. The inning is over, but a run. UCLA gets a big RBI single to take the lead over South Carolina. UCLA has taken a 1-0 lead. John Savage on the field with Kyle Peterson. Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. John, we talked before the game and then during the game about Rob Rasmussen. Battled through this one again. Now turn around, you guys got a 1-0 lead. What's been working for him tonight on the mound?
His cutter's very good, and his changeup's been very effective, and he's thrown his fastball on both sides of the plate. So he's been a 4-pitch guy all year, and he's doing a nice job tonight.
It seemed like last night almost what could go wrong did go wrong. Now tonight you come out, you scratch one out, you take a 1-0 lead. Offensively, what do you need to do against Roth?
Well, we still got to keep on pecking away. He's doing a good job. Had a couple base runners picked off, and that's unfortunate and kind of careless. And we just got to keep on getting after and get that leadoff guy on.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, a run on 6 hits for UCLA. Carolina, 3 hits, no runs. Rasmussen, who last pitched in the College World Series and was roughed up a little bit, had a really good excuse after 12 days without pitching. But now he's back in at least a semi-normal rotation as a starter, and he's showing you his good stuff.
Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer on his staff had done so well that they really didn't need him.
That stays high and inside to Marzilli back at the top of the order. He's 1 for 2. Started the game off with a single, line to center.
He's a good looking freshman. A lot of presence at the plate, a lot of baseball movements in there. There's not happy feet. You don't see a lot of quick twitch going on in there like he's overwhelmed. Very mature looking freshman, and as many games you play in college, by the end of your freshman year you feel like a sophomore, probably, and a veteran.
They have a remarkable 10-1 record when he bats leadoff.
Did you say he had only had 14 starts? There's a lot of games played because he comes in defense or pinch hit.
Exactly.
Starts? No.
Only had 18 starts until tonight. This one's down the right field line, in trouble. It will drop. Marzilli with another base hit. He's 2 for 3. Monday against UCLA, the top of the order went 6 for 19. Tonight, 2 for 7. And a sacrifice that was done by Merrifield, who comes up now with Marzilli at first. Well, if South Carolina wants to run, Marzilli is a perfect 8 for 8. Again, he's facing a left-hander, which makes it tougher.
Well, Merrifield had a similar situation in the Clemson game, and he bunted for a hit. He placed it perfectly at the second baseman. And
throw over, and Marzilli is back.
And I think Ray Tanner's probably informing him that, you know, they have a second baseman that's not their normal second baseman. So if you're looking to lay down a bunt or sacrifice, if you're not going to sacrifice, try and get one in that little triangle going at the second baseman.
He does, but he bunts it in the air and right at the first baseman, Espy, and you could tell that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little carried away because you want to push it by the pitcher, and it becomes a problem if you can't get the right angle and you punch it right at the first baseman. As you can see right here, he tries to push it a little bit, but he doesn't get the right angle. You see, he gets a little motion, and then right there he's trying to get it out past that pitcher.
You're absolutely right about Regis, because he had one game at second base before coming here, and there's just so many different things you have to do as a second baseman that if you're not familiar with the drill, you can hesitate, and if you hesitate, who knows what can happen. Now Jackie Bradley Jr., who has had one big hit after another here in Omaha, looking for one right here. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And his 22-game hit streak in jeopardy. But he can change the momentum of this game one swing of the bat. Fastball on the corner. For 26. It's 422 during this 22-game hitting streak. That's hot. Almost walked into one.
But you know, it shows how good he is against left-handed pitching right there, to be able to, you know, start his swing that way, to be still locked in enough to move out of the way. But he was taking the approach to hit the ball in the outer half of the plate. He was not bailing.
That one's spoiled. Ball and 2 strikes to Jackie Bradley Jr. out of Prince George, Virginia. He is a 5-tool player, a sophomore. Certainly with first-round talent. Struck him out. Big punch out for Rasmussen.
Well, left on left. We had a couple pitches that ended up on the inside, and he had a good approach. And we had some fastballs on the outside corner, but the last 2 pitches are the key. He gets away with a hanging breaking ball right there, and now the breaking ball that finishes. So you see the difference between a high breaking ball he got a piece of, he got away with, and then a good sharp breaking ball that got the swing and the miss.
Rasmussen only has 2 strikeouts in this game, but that was a big one against the dangerous Jackie Bradley Jr. This one's down the left field line. Giovinazzo quickly over to cut it out. They've got to play at third, but the ball comes out of the glove of Trevor Brown. Marzilli running all the way, got in there.
I don't know about you, Robin, but I don't think this ball should have been cut. There should have been some communication there with the UCLA players.
Well, this ball's hit down the line, and Marzilli does the right thing as a runner. You're going to push the envelope, trying to get something started. You see that ball comes up a little bit. Even though it's coming up the line, you know, that ball's going to get there quicker than it is if he cuts it and then lets it go. Whether he's going to get him or not, I don't know.
I think he's out.
But Brown needs to move up on the other side so he can catch that ball and not have that runner go between him and the ball.
They almost got him anyway on the relay. And that's one of the defensive changes they had to make because of the injury to Ramatula at second base. Now Morales with runners at first and third and 2 out. Rasmussen misses with the fastball. South Carolina down by a run here in the home half of the 5th. It was a good job by Joe Venazzo as well in left field to hustle over the line and make a good strong throw toward third. 0 for 3 tonight with runners in scoring position. They hit .400 last night and knocked in 6. Morales with a big at bat here. Rasmussen hangs a breaking ball up and out of the strike zone. 3-0 to Morales. There's Matthews, another right-hander. The DH is on deck. Fastball for a called strike, 3-1. Morales 0 for 2 tonight. Foul that one straight back.
One thing I've noticed with South Carolina, they get some good swings on some fastballs. I mean, they seem to be on almost every fastball. They do not get cheated on the fastball. They might, you know, look a little funny on some curveballs and those sliders, but they are on almost every fastball.
You know, 3-2, playing behind the runner at first. Maybe should be playing a little closer to hold a double that could score you from first. Deacon back a little bit.
3-2, struck him out and got away from the catcher Rodriguez. He'll have to throw him out, but he does. USC 8 left on through 5 innings. And South Carolina still down to UCLA by a run. We have completed 5. Rasmussen tossing a shutout.
Rosenblatt Stadium kind of has had a mystique about it that, you know, that's where you'd watched all the College World Series in the past.
The atmosphere is what I think everybody that plays in the College World Series will always remember.
I think Rosenblatt Stadium was probably the best place chosen for a College World Series atmosphere. The fans really take to college baseball there. They come out, they support each and every team.
Playing at Rosenblatt at Omaha for the College World Series was really the only thing I ever wanted to accomplish growing up in sports.
Kotze was one of my favorite players out here. Boy, was he good.
He was good.
Tremendous two-way player.
I always love those guys when they're in the outfield and they come trotting in to close, or that's just one of the great things about college baseball.
And blow them away at about 95. And Houston Street was as good a closer as you're ever going to see. This is Jose Mata, 5'9", 180-pound junior out of Miami Lakes, Florida. Comes out of the South Carolina bullpen. 2.51 ERA on the season, making his second World Series appearance. He went 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit and a run on a homer. Blair Dunlap will lead it off in the UCLA 6th. You got to tip your cap to Michael Roth. He has gone over and above the call of duty here in the College World Series. A situational left-hander who's called on to start 2 games, and in 14 innings he's given up 2 runs as a starter.
He's officially carried the mail.
Yes, sir.
He'd have to be in consideration for their MVP if they would win it. I think there's an offensive player that's up there in the front running too, though.
Chop to Mata, and he'll make the play. Dunlap is gone. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, it's the Mets against the Marlins, and interim manager Edwin Rodriguez, the first Puerto Rican-born manager in baseball. ESPN or ESPN2, depending on whether we have a Game 3 here or not. It's on Wednesday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern. Then the Kansas City Royals take on Torrey Hunter and the Dodgers on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. So just keep your clicker handy. That's all you have to do. Espy chops one wide to third. Morales. And Espy's gone on 1 pitch. And now Cody Regis, the left-hander, will stand in. Regis 0 for 2. But a lefty facing a crossfire or submarine delivery in this ballpark, he's got a chance to get one out of here.
Yeah, I mean, they had Tyler Webb warming up in the South Carolina bullpen just in case a couple guys got on. But for Cody Regis, this is like you're thinking your lucky stars. Even though you're at 0-2, you just want to see somebody else. You don't want to see that sidearm lefty.
There is no way he can hide that ball from Regis. He gets a great look at it.
He does get a good, even though he's throwing it from the shortstop side, he still gets a good look at it.
Popped up foul. Morales runs out of room. Regis leads the club with 9 home runs this year. It's got to be on his mind right now. He's got his own hitting streak, 13 games. Boy, we got a wide call on that and a wry smile from Cody Regis as he's struck out by Jose Mata, who gets him 3 up, 3 down in the 6th. Welcome back to the College World Series in Omaha. 1-0 UCLA. Now let's take a look at our Home Depot coaching clinic. Here's Oral.
What I want to talk about tonight, Mike, is generating power with something other than your arm. And when you watch Rob Rasmussen, the starter for UCLA, you see great separation between his shoulders and his hips. When he comes down, the hips start early, and he has the X factor of keeping the shoulders closed, and that delivers the arm with the extra speed. Let's take a look at the video. The power comes not only from the arm speed, but watch the hip go first, the shoulders stay closed, and then the generation. The harder someone throws, the more their jersey happens to come out of their pants. The reason is, you see that jersey hanging over his belt buckle? All the twisting that happens between the shoulders and the hips. So when you do all that twisting, it starts to pull your shirt out. And so a guy like Randy Johnson from my generation, Joel Zumaya, the hard throwers, their jerseys end up out of their pants. They're always tucking them in.
No wonder my jersey was always so tucked in. Perfect.
How come Mariano Rivera's jersey's inside?
There's a good question. Matthews will lead it off. here in the bottom of the 6th inning for South Carolina, down 1-0. It's one thing, coaching has gotten so much better at the Little League, Pony League level, that kind of thing. People understand the mechanics a lot better of every aspect of the game. Cued off the end of the bat down to Espy, and he'll take it himself, and Matthews is gone. Oral, when you saw guys in the major leagues after you stopped playing, there were still a lot of guys in Major League Baseball that were there because of their talent, not because they knew how to play baseball.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that have gotten by on a lot of talent, and they learn as they go along. And Robin knows that there are guys up there that really have extreme ability.
That ball's hammered toward left field, and it's off the wall on one hop. Enders is going to have to dive back into first, just barely misses a home run and ends up with a single.
Well, they've gotten into a couple balls. Enders and Walker have gotten into a few balls off of Rasmussen, and this ball's just hammered into left center, but Giovinazzo does a nice job of playing this ball, and he thinks he's got it. He's making sure he takes a couple peeks at it, running around, but you know, the play there is Giovinazzo playing that ball off the wall and getting it back in.
It's a second really good defensive play Giovinazzo has made in left tonight. And now Haney again, who has 2 bloopers to center field for base hits. I was asking you about mechanics. The one thing that occurs to me, Darrell Green, who was one of the great defensive backs in the history of the National Football League, for years did not understand his mechanics. He got by on blinding speed and courage. It was only in the later part of his career that said, hey, if I learn how to do this and do this, I'm going to be a better player even than I already am. And I know there's guys in baseball that fit that profile.
There are definitely guys that are good enough to play in the big league level and they really not understand what they're doing. They do it on superior eye-hand coordination or superior arm speed. But the ability to do both, understand the game and the strategy and the mechanics of how to execute things and have world-class ability, that's when you get those guys that are superstars year in and year out. But those guys that are hot and cold with the same ability, they didn't understand how they did it. They don't understand how to repeat it. They just fell upon it. They had great ability. The league didn't catch up with them for a year, but then people made adjustments and they didn't know how to adjust back.
Haney, you saw trying to sacrifice on that last pitch. Now he's swinging away. And in the hole 1 and 2. I think that's why so many superstars have never been able to make it as coaches. Not that they would want to, but some wanted to make that transition and really just didn't understand why other people couldn't do what they did.
Well, that's why you see a lot of guys that are catchers become great managers, is they're doing a lot.
Haney's gone.
You know, they understand the game and what's going on, and it's not a mistake that a lot of catchers go on to be, you know, great managers. Some of them are pitching coaches and things like that, because they just see all the mechanics and
sure,
see the way everything works. And you know, it's no secret. You got, you know, Sosha and Torrey and, you know, many managers.
Well,
you know,
a lot
Tony
of those
La Russa
guys become great coaches because they were borderline big leaguers, utility players, and they've used every single option there is to stay in the big leagues or to get to the big leagues. So when it comes to coaching, they've tried it all. And they know what works with certain situations. They know what works with certain styles. They know what works against a high fastball pitcher compared to a guy who has a great slider, and all the different things.
Well, the only way they were ever going to get out of AA ball was to know every intricacy of the game, every trick there was.
And it makes them great coaches.
1-0 to Scott Wingo, the number 9 hitter, a runner at first and 1 out here in the South Carolina 6th. They have had a runner aboard in every inning against Rob Rasmussen, and they have not been able to get anything out of it.
There are great players that also would make great coaches. They just didn't have to do it. I mean, Joe Morgan, who I work with on Sunday Night Baseball, knows hitting and infield play as good as anybody. Tony Gwynn, who made a huge impact on Steven Strasburg at San Diego State, and now Steven credits him with a lot of stuff of talking about the big league life and big league pitching, because he was a genius hitter.
And who to teach you better about how to pitch than somebody who knew how to hit?
Or somebody like you who knew how to pitch.
I learned an awful lot about pitching from other hitters.
2-0 to Wingo. Fouled.
Robin was one of my teammates. Learned a lot from him. Kevin Seitzer, who's now the hitting coach of the Kansas City Royals, was a teammate of mine at one time. You talk hitting with them and talk pitching and strategy.
Wingo 2-1 against Rasmussen. Enders down at first. Enders with only 2 stolen bases this year does not run particularly well, as you might expect as the South Carolina catcher. Three balls and a strike. Strike 2 call. Rasmussen just crossed the century mark. 101 pitches. They are ready in the UCLA bullpen. They have been ready for a couple of innings.
You can't be that deep at first base again. Not with 3 and 2 out. He can score on a double now when you give him that much room.
Enders will be able to get a big start, and does. This one's popped straight back on the screen.
For me, as a first baseman, you have to stay in the vicinity just to have the option if the pitcher wants to come over there to first base to hold that runner. When you are severely back there, you allow that runner on first. Even if he doesn't start until the pitcher lifts his leg, he has an extra 3 steps as far as just the distance of the lead that he's starting from.
Which could make a big difference, especially since he's a catcher.
Yeah, you deke him back at second base to kind of hold him close and keep him from getting a jump. You've got to do that at first, too.
Ball 4. So he walks the number 9 man in the order, and there's runners at first and second. Now time for our Coke Zero game track. Been a pitcher's battle. Both teams have scratched out 6 hits. Gallego has the only run driven in. Rasmussen 5 2/3, struck out 4 and walked 4. And South Carolina has yet to get a base hit with a runner in scoring position, but they have another opportunity here. And John Savage coming out to talk to his starter. Looks down to the bullpen to make sure somebody's ready.
Well, Marzilli's had some pretty good at-bats against Rasmussen in this game. He's got 2 base hits. He also had a hard hit ball into center field with the bases loaded. So I'm sure that's weighing on Coach Savage's mind as he's making this decision.
And that's left-hander against left-hander. He's had that kind of success. Now Gus Rodriguez is out to see what kind of a decision they have. And they're going to stay with Rasmussen. Well, this is a pitching staff that has just been remarkable with the big 3. They have just swallowed up all the innings all season long, even though they've got some great arms in the bullpen.
Garrett Cole right there, who pitched last night through tough luck.
Curveball hangs inside to Evan Marzilli, the freshman from Cranston, Rhode Island.
There's Trevor Bauer, tomorrow's starter if UCLA gets there. Maybe even reliever tonight if they need him.
UCLA clinging to a 1-0 lead here in the 6th. 2 men out to Marzilli with the bases. 2 guys on, second and first.
Infield back for UCLA, just making sure if there's a hard hit ball, you're going to be able to knock it down and not let Enders score. You just got to keep that ball from getting into the outfield.
One and 2 to Marzilli. not just pressure on the field, is it? That's foul.
My mom and dad couldn't sit together. They'd start fighting until the pressure. My dad would walk the stadium. My mom would sit in her seat. I don't think Mom did that, though, because she used to tell me about which pitch I threw and when, so she was watching.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Evan Marzilli, the all-SEC freshman. In the dirt, another good block by Rodriguez. Couldn't find it momentarily.
They surely don't want him to hit a fastball. It's been breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball.
Well, they've gone inside on Marzilli, and he's been able to stay inside it and hit the ball down the right field line for a couple base hits. 1 in the hole and 1 down the right field line.
Here's the 2-2. Strike 3 call. South Carolina has left 10 with runners in scoring position. They are 0 for 5. Tip your cap to Rasmussen. 1-0. End of 6. Has won its first ever national championship. It's over. Back to back.
3 home runs in 1 day. J.D. Drew just hit it into the zoo.
Ball is thrown away. How about that for a decoy play?
Rachels delivers a big hit. USC wins the national championship.
The Texas Longhorns are coming home national champions.
Gone! A grand slam homer! Stanford wins! Cinderella wins a national championship! What a beautiful, well-played ball game this has been. UCLA and South Carolina. Game 2 of the best of 3 at the College World Series. The Bruins fighting to stay alive. They're up by 1. Scored the lone run back in the 5th. Now we go to the top of the 7th. Well, you're not going to be comfortable with 1 run, that's for sure. Not here.
Well, you're glad the 1 run is yours, though. But
absolutely,
right. It is not comfortable at all.
Brett Krill will lead it off against Jose Mata, working his 2nd inning in relief for South Carolina and making his 33rd appearance of the season. And Bauer's going to go down to get ready. Heaven knows what that means. All the gyrations he'll go through. He told him he could give him an inning and still come back and start tomorrow night in game 3, the deciding game.
And that necessarily doesn't mean that he's getting ready to pitch either.
No, it doesn't.
He's just an active young man.
Line down the right field line. Fair ball. And a leadoff double for Brett Krill. That's a big hit for the 6'4" junior. Just got it inside the right field line for a double.
Well, it's not easy when you got a guy throwing from shortstop, and right here Brett Krill just stays, it keeps that shoulder in there, and it's an inside out swing, and this ball doesn't end up on the outer half like Mata really wanted it to, and Krill just gets the barrel on it. You don't have to do too much with it when you're going the other way. You just got to make sure you get your hands through it and the barrel on it.
Krill at second. Joe Venanzo stands in 0 for 1 with a walk.
Ready.
Joe Venanzo only has 1 successful sacrifice this year. Will they try to bunt him over? or let him try to hit to the right side, and they'll go with the bunt, and it's a good one.
He's out.
And that puts Krill at third with 1 out.
Well, this is a rare jam for the South Carolina bullpen. Their bullpen here at the College World Series is 2-0 with a 1.76 ERA, 14 1/3 innings pitched, no walks, 18 Ks. So they have been very effective.
Joe Venazzo getting a hand as he's into the dugout after the sacrifice. And now Trevor Brown will face a drawn-in infield. He has singled and grounded into a double play, and that one hit him. One thing that does do it, put the double play in order.
Well, it also brings up a left-handed hitter, and I don't know if you're really that comfortable having Mata face a left-handed hitter with a runner on third base.
It's a good point. We got Taylor and Webb working out there. And Tanner says, let's go back to double play depth.
Third base
Watch out for the squeeze.
He went you going 4. First base might be going home unless it's a ground ball towards second where he thinks he can get 2. If not, he's coming to the plate, and they're playing for 2 up the middle.
Well, this is where if you're a left-handed hitter and you got a submariner like this, you got to make sure you get the ball up. Any ball down, you're going to pound into the ground, and it'll probably be a double play.
And Rodriguez is a double play candidate. Does not run well. Has a sacrifice fly this year, 1. But he does bunt very well. 9 sacrifice bunts. If they want to squeeze, he'd get a good look at the pitch, wouldn't he? Popped up. The catcher Enders will make the catch. And Rodriguez dejectedly with his head down at the plate. Well, that's not what you meant when you said he needed to get the ball in the air.
No, and this is just a ball. Like they're used to the ball running away, and this one runs in on his hands. He's trying to do too much with it. You don't have to, take a big rip at it. Right now, 1 run would do you a load off your mind, and he's trying to get too much of it. Just make sure you get the barrel on it, shorten up, get something in the outfield.
Krill, who started the inning off with a double, is at third with 2 out. Trevor Brown is at first after being hit by a pitch. And Mata trying to get out of it, and he will. The ball hit right at Walker, the first baseman. Gallego is out, and Mata gives off the leadout double and gets out of it. Go to the bottom of the 7th, still 1-0 UCLA. And here in Omaha, time for our Coke Zero game track. Oh, what a good ball game this has been. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Gallego drove in the only run. Rasmussen, 6 innings, 4 walks, 5 struck out. South Carolina left 10 men on base. Rasmussen is gone. Eric Goodell comes out of the pen. Sophomore from Hillsborough, California. 2-0 with a save this year and a 3.12 ERA. His second College World Series appearance. He went 2 innings the first time up and did not allow a hit. Kyle, Rasmussen did his job, and now it's up to this kid.
No, he absolutely did his job. I talked to John Savage in the middle of the break right there. He said, I just thought he was out of gas. He said, he gets the last guy with a breaking ball to gets Marzilli with a breaking ball to get out of the inning. He said, I thought he was out of gas. They made the decision right away. I mean, it was right when he came out. They pointed to Goodell, said, you're going to go in. Now it's matchups for the rest of the game. You've got the left-hander Grace that they could bring in to face lefties if they need to. But the ideal situation for UCLA is they want to get to Klein. And Savage said, if I need Klein in the 8th, we'll go to him in the 8th. But Klein's been their closer all year.
It's been a beautifully pitched ball games by both sides. Merrifield will lead it off. It'll be Merrifield, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Walker. So the heart of the order, 2, 3, and 4 that Goodell has to face out of the pen. Foul back off the roof. 0-2. Merrifield quickly in the hole. We are so pleased you could join us with what just might be the final game from Rosenblatt Stadium here at the College World Series. But if this score holds, we will force a game 3. A win for South Carolina, it's over. They win their first national title in college baseball. This ball hit deep, but not deep enough. Giovinazzo retreats to the track and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Well, we're in this situation because of Rob Rasmussen on UCLA. Those 6 shutout innings, and it was mainly because of the breaking ball. When he got his breaking ball down, it was sharp, it was effective, and it really mowed these guys down. We've really noticed that the fastball has not made it through these finals very well. It's the off-speed pitches, if it's from UCLA, or even if it's from Michael Roth on the other side with South Carolina.
The very dangerous Jackie Bradley Jr., who has been held in check tonight, 0 for 3. He's still hitting .370 here in Omaha. Goodell quickly gets ahead of him, 0-2.
That big swing right there from Jackie, that's the ball that he squared up last night into about a 20-mile-an-hour wind to left center, and he came back to the bench. He told Tanner, he said, that's all I've got. That's all I've got. And that young man's got enough to go 10 rows deep here. But he hit it into a gale last night.
He crushed it, and it just died in left center. It was even short of the warning track. This is wide to the second baseman, Regis. Nice play. Range far to his left. And a good job by Dean Espy. Regis was a high school shortstop, so he's got some range. Made a good play, and Espy finished it off.
Well, as much as we've been talking about them moving around in the infield, different guys, this is just a great play going over in the hole by Regis, and another nice play by Espy of staying on the bag. That's just a great job of 2 guys getting it done.
And you know they breathe a sigh of relief every time they get this kid out. Now Walker. Nobody on, 2 gone in the South Carolina 7th.
Well, this is the hitter they've been very careful with also. Last night hit a couple balls into that wind and has a double to go with it. Actually, it was a single, but a hard hit ball into left field.
Goodell pours the fastball in there. He has 58 strikeouts in 49 inning pitch. Rasmussen hopes for the win after he threw 109 pitches, left with a 1-0 lead. And Goodell trying to keep it that way. Fastball missed. 2 balls and a strike to Christian Walker from Limerick, Pennsylvania. This kid was highly recruited.
You look at that X factor he sets up as far as power. Shoulders closed, hips open. Talked about that's the way you throw the ball hard when we were talking about Rob Rasmussen. Well, Mr. Walker, Christian Walker, sets up in the X factor as a hitter. So that hand speed for a pitcher or the hand speed or bat speed for a hitter, the same type of way to leverage your upper and lower body. Closed shoulders, open hips to create that torque from the midsection to create power.
The head in the count 3-1. That one's on the corner 3-2. And you can see Walker's reaction. Did not care for the call. That had some giddy up on it at 95. And Rasmussen checking out the strike zone. He didn't care for it. He really liked it, actually. 3-2 lined to center field for a base hit. Walker's got a nice stroke.
Well, we've been talking about his power and everything else, but what he does is it's very simple. He's just looking for a ball in the middle of the plate. And Orel talked earlier about the window, and he's very compact. It's not a big, long stride or anything else. It's very short to the baseball, but with a lot of power. And that ball is hit hard into right center. It just happened to be that Amaral is shading him over into right center.
Now Morales, who's 0 for 3. Both bullpens active, as both managers can ill afford to let anything get out of control. They're going to use matchups the rest of this ball game because everybody virtually available on each staff. Breaking pitch dropped in there for a strike. Klein is the closer. Grace the left-hander. And there's no shortage of UCLA arms. They got some guys down there we haven't even seen in the World Series that could pitch for just about anybody. Called strike, and Morales just turns around and walks away. Strike zone's been dancing around tonight some.
Well, this ball is definitely wide. I mean, that's a ball off the plate, the width of the ball.
Rodriguez couldn't even frame that one.
Yeah, and when you get a catcher reaching away from the plate, you usually do not get that call.
So if the last one was a ball, you go right back out there, and it's 2-2. Runner at first, 2-2, 2 out. Fouled out of play.
Well, as a hitter, if you get a pitch that you feel really wasn't a strike, the next pitch is the one that you get a little antsy with. Now he's fouled one off, so now he kind of goes back into that mode where it's even back up again, and he's got to put it on the plate.
Breaking ball hangs high, full count. That means Walker will get a start from first base, and again they will play behind him as SB goes back to his normal position, and Walker will get a running start. Struck him out. Goodell gets out of a jam and finishes off the seventh inning with a punch out, to the delight of Rob Rasmussen, who wants this win because it would keep UCLA alive and force a Game 3 tomorrow night.
The road to Omaha is long, arduous. Destination, a national title. But nothing is set, so don't forget to stop and see the sights, because you never know what you might miss. Omaha, Nebraska.
Welcome back to the College World Series in Omaha. We have not had a 1-0 game at the College World Series since 1985. That's how rare these are, with great hitters, aluminum bats, and a ballpark that sometimes is a launching pad. But tonight, the pitching has been spectacular. Tyler Webb hoping to keep it up. He's a 6'6" freshman, 210 pounds. This is his third College World Series appearance this year. He's only pitched 1 2/3 innings, but nobody's gotten a hit off of him yet. And Bo Amaral will lead it off.
Tyler Webb was one of the alternatives to be the starting pitcher for tonight's game. Ray Tanner decided to go with Michael Roth. I think he made a good choice.
Yeah, it turned out all right.
Let's see if this.
There's Amaral trying to bunt for a base hit right down the first base line. Fielded by Walker and makes the tag. That ball went perfectly straight.
If you're the third baseman and this bunts down the line, you try and let it go foul. But if you're the first baseman, you come and get it when it's fair, because that out is standing right there in front of you. So you think, if you're at home going, why did he let that go foul? On the third base line, you can go let it go foul and you watch it. But on the first base line, you grab it.
We told you it was going to be a series of matchups. South Carolina will use a lot of pitchers, and they're all pretty good. John Taylor on his way in. Come on, join us. 20,000 friends on Facebook and Twitter. Add to the total. Search ESPN Omaha on Facebook and become a fan. You can get behind-the-scenes access to video like the teases we've done the last couple of night looks at Rosenblatt Stadium, discussions, information on all the featured bands. You can also follow our former All-American pitcher Kyle Peterson and Aaron Andrews for live updates from Omaha. And we're doing it right now. John Taylor comes in, the junior, 5'10", 175, Florence, South Carolina. 3-2 on the year with 3.49 ERA. All of his appearances have been out of the bullpen. This will be his fourth game in Omaha. He has yet to give up a hit. And there's Bauer, just in case he's needed. He's been out there for over 20 minutes stretching. Had told the coaching staff he would be available for an inning if need be. He would be the starter tomorrow night if there is a game 3 for the College World Series championship. Dunlap stands in. 2 right-handers scheduled to hit, so that's why Taylor is in there. Amaral, the left-hander, was retired. Dunlap 1 for 3 tonight. Both teams have scratched out 7 hits. And Taylor, another crossfire specialist.
South Carolina pitching staff is not going to wow you with the velocity. They're not going to wow you with one pitch that intimidates you. But what they have is they have a bunch of pitchers and a bunch of different looks.
And they have been just as good as the heralded UCLA pitching staff. The reason we talk more about UCLA is there are 3 guys with more than 10 wins. They have put up incredible numbers throughout the course of the season, but South Carolina just keeps trotting out guys that get you out.
A little higher profile guys on the UCLA side.
Exactly.
As far as the staff and effective pitchers and gritting it out, you pitch in that SEC, you're talking big crowds, tough games on the road. You are battle tough.
2 outs to Espy. Takes a called strike. Hitting .304 here in Omaha. He knows how to hit. His dad, Dwayne, is a hitting coach in the minor leagues. And another fly ball to straight center field to Jackie Bradley Jr. 3 up, 3 down for UCLA in the 8th. It is still a tension-packed 1-0 game.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by Capital One Venture Card, official credit card of the NCAA Men's College World Series.
Welcome to Rosenblatt Stadium and to Omaha.
I started here at Rosenblatt Stadium when I was 9 years old. I've got people working for me now that I worked with their fathers and their mothers. We did a really good job of fixing this place up. The beauty of this won't be matched. If I got to go through eternity as the last groundskeeper at Rosenblatt Stadium, I can live with that very nicely.
Jesse said that getting to work on the College World Series was like being called up to the majors for the kids working at Rosenblatt. 2010, his 40th and final season working at the College World Series. And over the years, he has done some remarkable things to keep this field in outstanding shape. South Carolina comes up in the 8th, and they will face Brady Thomas, Brady Thomas, the pinch hitter, as they try to get something started here. He'll hit for Adam Matthews. Back up the middle and through for a base hit. Thomas leads off the 8th with a ringing single to center. Let's check in with Aaron.
Mike, before that base hit, South Carolina's dugout just a little uneasy. Obviously, this Gamecocks team has done very, very well in elimination circumstances, but for the last couple minutes over here in the dugout, guys yelling a little louder, let's go, let's go. Guys starting to pace a little bit, but that base hit seemed to kind of chill everybody out so far over here.
All right, Aaron, 1 on, nobody out, and UCLA may be ready to make a change. Goodell gives up the hit. And we will have a pitching change. Claypool has been up and ready several times, but it'll be Dan Klein, the closer, who will be asked to come in and get 6 outs in this one. From San Juan, Puerto Rico, the Mets and the Marlins on ESPN or ESPN2, depending on whether we have a Game 3 here or not. It's Wednesday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern. Then the Kansas City Royals against Torrey Hunter and the Angels on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. The game will be on ESPN2 if we do have a Game 3. ESPN if the College World Series is completed tonight. Dan Klein is the new pitcher. 6-0 record, 10 saves out of the bullpen. Tremendous ERA of 1.48. This will be his 3rd College World Series game. He has only given up 1 hit in the first 2 appearances. If you're South Carolina, what are you looking to do at the plate against Klein? You've got Enders, your catcher, up. You're still playing small ball.
Well, you got to try and tie it up as quick as you can, and really you got to get Thomas down to second base. And the only way really right here is you can hit and run, you can bunt, but I believe you got to bunt him over. You got to get him in scoring position and just give your guys a chance that can get a base hit to score him.
Enders has 6 sacrifices this year.
John Savage serves as the pitching coach, and one of the quotes he said about Dan Klein is, "I'm always calm when I bring him into the game and hand him the ball." I think that's it tonight.
I don't know.
It's a little different right now. He redshirted last year, Dan Klein. He had a shoulder problem.
Robert Berry, a junior from Apopka, Florida, comes in as the pinch runner for Brady Thomas.
Dan Klein was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in the 3rd round, and Baltimore really likes him. Coming out of high school, he was drafted in the 25th round. And he's a 4-pitch pitcher. He's got command of all 4 pitches, so I wouldn't be surprised when he turns pro that he is tried as a starter.
Klein will face Kyle Enders. A walk, a ground out, and a single. Pulled the bat back. The 3rd baseman Brown charging. How appropriate to have a brilliant game here as we near the end for Rosenblatt. This has been a beauty. Enders lays off that 2-0. There's an old saying, if they're trying to give you an out, you better take it.
Well, one thing South Carolina is very aggressive offensively, And you would not be surprised with a little hit and run right here.
And especially with a game in hand where they're up 1-0 in the series.
Klein, a power pitcher, better than a strikeout an inning this year. Enders again looks to bunt, and that's a called strike at the knees. And you saw Enders' reaction. There's been a lot of that tonight. And there is Trevor Brown, just in case.
When you lead the NCAA in strikeouts, there might be a situation here tonight where they need one of those.
Come in and throw 3 high, hard ones. Hit and run down to third. That'll get the runner over. And a very tough throw across, and a nice play to make the tag by Espy. That throw was wide from Brown.
Well, you had your hit and run, and this ball goes to Trevor Brown, and he has to come in and make sure that he fields it. And you also have to have a peek at the runner going to second base, and Espy does a nice job of coming off the base. Instead of trying to stretch, he's going to make sure he gets that out and comes off the bag and really saves Brown from that ball going down into right field in foul territory.
Bobby Haney 2 for 3 tonight. He has come up big with the bat, and they need him again right here with a runner at second and 1 out. He's the number 8 man in the order. Wingo number 9, and they are faking that they threw the ball into center field. But Barry, the pinch runner, is having none of that stuff.
Well, it's the old grand illusion play, but it's at second base where you fake a throw to second base, and everybody's diving. You have Amaral coming in acting like he's fielding the ball.
And you are allowed to fake to second base. You don't have to step off. The only base that you can't fake to and step off is first.
That one's fouled. You are also allowed to be intelligent, and that's what Barry was. He wasn't buying any of that.
Well, he wasn't that far off. When he went back, he was watching Klein as he was going back to second base, so he saw that there was no ball in his hand.
Oh, and 1 to Bobby Haney, the senior from Smithtown, New York. 2 bloop singles to center field, but they count. 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Klein is low. Only hitting .259 coming in, but throughout the year, after a really slow start, he has picked it up and has 7 hits out here in Omaha. One and 2 to Haney. And coming from behind has not been unusual for South Carolina. After 7 innings, they were down to Bucknell, down to Coastal Carolina and Oklahoma. And Coastal Carolina had been #1 part of this year, one of the top national seeds. Just a tremendous team, but they came from behind to get them. 1 and 2 to Haney with Wingo on deck.
Well, one of the things that happens as an offense is when that happens and you have been able to come back and score some runs and win some games like that, you're just looking for a sign, and Brady Thomas already gave him that sign. He got a base hit. Now they got a guy in scoring position.
Robert Berry, the pinch runner, leading off second.
It's an outstanding block back there by Steve Rodriguez. You talk about a guy being over there on third with 1 out if he doesn't get down and really smother this ball. And check out the angle of his upper body to keep the ball softly in front of him.
So many breaking balls on young catchers when they don't not only square up their shoulders, but tilt your upper body forward to keep that ball right down in front of you flat.
Oral, he stopped everything out here.
Yeah, he's been outstanding.
And you don't win without a catcher who can block those balls.
Come on, right here.
Because you want to be able to tell that pitcher, go ahead, bury one in the dirt. It's no problem. Let's get the guy to swing at it. If he doesn't, I can block it.
Well, very few pitchers throw hard enough to have their fastball be their out pitch. You've got to throw 93 to 98 miles an hour. So guess what? Most of your staff's out pitch is breaking balls in the dirt.
2-2 to Haney, who's up there battling. They're on the edge of their seat here at Rosenblatt. That one's fouled away. Haney not about to give in to Klein.
I was just thinking about with the two ball coaches here that baseball can be like 4th and goal, but for so many pitches in a row.
Over and over and over.
You get shots of the people in the stands and they're got their head down, they're nervous, they're on the edge of their seat. Well, this 4th and goal in football, but it's every pitch right now.
There's Coach Neuheisel. Coach Spurrier had been upstairs earlier. Down to first, off of the first baseman into right field. Here comes Barry on the way to the plate and tied it wide. What an at-bat by Bobby Haney.
Well, he goes ahead and he gets this ball, pulls it in the hole. SB tries to go over and get the short hop. And this ball just has so much topspin, it takes off, hits off his glove. Regis makes a nice effort to try and barehand it and make that out.
The tying run scores here in the 8th. A runner at first, still only 1 out for Wingo. That'll be an error on the first baseman, Espy. No run driven in. And if nothing else, he needed to keep that ball in front of him and not let it get to the outfield. Espy, most of this College World Series, has been playing third base.
And when you're playing in a place you're not familiar with, you're slightly tentative. And when your brain is thinking, your feet are usually not moving. If he charges that ball hard and it's very natural for him, he gets it before that short hop comes. But because he's in a right-handed thrower and he's on an opposite side of the diamond that's normal for him, he's not attacking that ball like a normal first baseman would.
Here's Wingo, who has a couple of walks tonight, takes a breaking pitch for a strike.
Just watch the speed of the feet. He's just, you know, he's just kind of half stepping it over there, kind of trying to judge it and time it. If he busts it early and really knows where he's at, right there, just at the end, I think he just wants to cut it off and be a little bit more aggressive.
Regis nearly made a spectacular bare hand save. And now UCLA already down the game, in a lot of trouble. Haney, in case you're wondering, only has 1 stolen base this year. But as they did last night, just putting the ball in play sometimes is enough. Sometimes the other guys will beat themselves.
If this is the last game here, it deserves a classic game.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. The greatest show on dirt and all the memories and entertainment that this place has provided, to have this kind of game, if it ends the night, it's been a gem.
In front of a jam-packed house. Checked his swing on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball down out of the zone. 2-1 to Wingo, the junior from Greenville, South Carolina. Evan Marzilli, the leadoff hitter, is on deck. And he swung the bat very well tonight. Hit the ball hard 3 times. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
That's where you got to reach down deep. If you're UCLA, you're backed into a corner. You're down 1-0. The inning's not going your way, and it could be, oh, here we go again. And that's that whole fight or flight syndrome. You're backed into a corner. You got to fight. You can't run away from this. You've got to attack.
Klein, as the closer, has been used to pressure all year long with 6 wins and 10 saves. But this is extraordinary pressure. Missed high. Now, do you start Haney?
Absolutely. You're going to get some action. South Carolina is very aggressive offensively. We saw it when they tried to hit and run earlier in this inning. I would be very surprised if Haney is not running.
And if I'm UCLA and I'm up the middle, I got to hold my positions. I don't go for second base early for the stolen base. I try and get an out.
Wingo has fanned 47 times this year. Make it 48 on a called strike 3 on the corner, and all he can do is stand there and shake his head.
Well, you said you have to be aggressive. You get to a 3-2 count, possible runner moving, tie game. You have 1 loss left to your life as UCLA, and you throw a fastball, maybe even a 2-seamer. That came back a little bit, Robin. It didn't look like an off-speed pitch. Oh, it's a little slider that almost backs up in there.
Well, this ball's just aced. I mean,
yeah,
you're talking about a tough pitch underneath the hands. And he doesn't know if that runner at first base is leaving or not. And he just aces a pitch on the black inside.
That's why he's the closer. Marzilli down to first. Foul ball.
Well, I know we have a few football coaches here, and Dean Espy's trying to keep his toes in fair territory, trying to catch it, hopefully to keep it fair. But you know,
1 foot in college.
Yeah, it has to be where the
wrong sport.
It is where the ball is at when you make contact with it.
Yeah, and that's another one of those ones on, you know, come get the ball. It's like that bunt that could roll foul on the first baseline. Come get that ground ball down the line. It's an out.
But he has obviously practiced that toe tap. 0-1 to Marzilli, who's done a nice job as the leadoff hitter. Strike call. No balls and 2 strikes to Marzilli. Merrifield on deck. 1-1, bottom of the 8th. What a ball game this has been. Haney is back. South Carolina crowd wants to see action, not throwovers to first base.
There's a rhythm to a game, and you have to watch as a pitcher that you don't take too much thought and too much time in these big situations, because you're still trying to execute an athletic move with rhythm, and you want to get back on the hill and keep attacking.
In the dirt. What a block by Rodriguez. That ball bounced so far out in front of the plate, it could have really taken a horrible hop for him.
Big breaking ball. 60 feet 6 inches from the rubber to home plate, and he threw that one about 58 feet.
Just tremendous technique by Steve Rodriguez. Missed again. 2-2. And the last thing he wants to do is go to 3-2 and let the runner get a flying start again. He wants this to be the pitch of decision.
Well, again, Oral talked about it. You know, it's like 4th and goal all the time, and he feels like he has to ace every pitch. So it's maximum effort.
Back up to middle, gloved by Klein. He'll get the out at first, but the tying run scores for South Carolina. Pinch hit single and an error by the first baseman Espy, allowing the tying run to score. We go to the ninth, 1-1.
It's pretty simple, really. You take the raw ingredients, shape them, mold them, create what's meant to be. Culmination of thought, planning, ability, strength, and heart. Put it all together, and you have a champion.
It's waiting for one of two teams who have never won the NCAA baseball championship, either UCLA or South Carolina. And Dean Espy, after that error, coming into the dugout. And then he punches the bench and then walks away checking out what damage he might have done to his right hand. Regis, Krill, and Giovinazzo, the scheduled hitters for UCLA here in the ninth. The momentum has been taken away by the Gamecocks of South Carolina, and they have John Taylor on the hill trying to shut them down in the ninth. Taylor out of Florence, another side armor submariner. Got a lot of run on that fastball, and he misses to Cody Regis, 2-0. Regis takes a called strike, 2-1. A young man with a lot of power. The wind is no factor at all. The flags hanging dead limp in center field right now.
Well, Regis is the one player on UCLA that can leave either to left field or right field.
Hits that one to deep left field, but Marzilli back on the track with a couple of steps to spare. Well, if it's necessary, the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One will continue on ESPN tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern. UCLA and South Carolina in Game 3, if it's necessary, for a national championship. And as good as this one has been, you almost hope for a Game 3. They're going to play this well.
Well, this one's not over yet. I mean,
no.
We might have 2.5 in this.
Talking to Espy about what he may have done to his right hand.
And Justin Uribe down in the bullpen playing catch, a left-handed first baseman.
And they've got the ice bag on it. Well, the last thing you want to do is hurt yourself. Talking to John Savage.
Well, they've had enough freak injuries with the broken hand, the Ramatula on the dog pile.
That was just awful. What a horrible piece of luck for that young man. And Uribe just shaking his hands, shaking his head down there. Got a pitching change. We'll check it out when we come back. It will be closer against closer. Matt Price coming out of the South Carolina bullpen with 1 out in the ninth. The big right-hander with 4 wins and 10 saves in a 1-1 tie here in the ninth inning. And he will be making his 4th appearance here in Omaha, 31st overall. Freshman out of Sumter, South Carolina. There's the ice on the right hand of first baseman Dean Espy, who has played both first and third.
Needs to get that up above his heart. Sorry to play trainer. Get that blood running out of it, not down to it.
And he's got to be feeling very sheepish at this point if he has hurt himself enough to have to come out of the ball game. I mean, you feel bad enough after the error and then go in to hurt yourself and compound the mistake. And Ramatula got hurt in the dog pile through no fault of his own. Fractured his wrist, the number 3 hitter and the starting second baseman. This ball hit to dead center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. with enough room back to the track and makes the catch. Krill hit it hard. Two fly balls in the inning, 2 outs. UCLA's last hope here in the ninth is Chris Giovinazzo.
Well, the ball's not carrying tonight as it normally would. You know, we get the wind and the heat and everything else, but it's a fairly cool night for being in Omaha in June, almost July, and you know, you expect those balls to carry out.
Price rips a fastball in there at 94.
And that 94-mile-an-hour fastball, he's had 12 strikeouts in 7 innings pitched here in the College World Series, so he's got some stuff.
Big breaking ball is high. It's another one of these guys that loves the pressure situation of being a closer and being in ninth inning situations where the game is on the line. Fastball checked his swing. 2 balls and a strike to Chris Giovinazzo, who has walked, grounded out, and sacrificed tonight. This is a kid who won't back down. He was a 1,000+ yard running back in high school. Chased a breaking pitch and missed. I always like the attitude of those guys with a football background. Chop toward third. Morales charges and throws. Didn't get it. The tag was wide. Walker had to come off the bag. Tried to make the sweep tag and didn't get him. Also tried to sell it very well to the first base umpire. And Ray Tanner out to argue.
Well, it's hard when you're a first baseman. You see this ball's chopped. Morales comes across. That ball sails up ahead. But whenever you're a first baseman, you tag the runner on the backside. The benefit of the doubt starts going to the runner. And you can see right there, umpire's in perfect position where that glove comes down and where the runner's at.
David Savage could see it perfectly and see the gap of maybe a foot between the glove and the body of the runner.
And the key to the whole thing is he didn't fall for the deke of I actually tagged the guy.
So Giovinazzo is aboard. It's an error on the throw. And it allows Trevor Brown to stand in. Brown has been hit by a pitch, singled, and grounded into a double play. This is only the 14th start all year for Trevor Brown. And Price has yet to throw a strike with that breaking pitch.
He's had the curveball, but the slider has been good. The big curveball he's left up high, but he's thrown some nasty sliders down low. He's really a two-pitch pitcher right now that it's going to be something hard.
Giovinazzo bluffs the start. This is to shallow center. Jackie Bradley Jr. got a late start on it. Looked like he broke back maybe a step and then charged and couldn't get there, and Brown is on with a single to shallow center. First and third.
Well, for Trevor Brown, you're just trying to drive something into the outfield. You don't quite drive it. And you can see here, Jackie Bradley Jr. is playing very deep. He comes in and tries to short hop it. And you can see right here, you're going all the way. I mean, it's not like you're holding up for anything, but.
Well, South Carolina playing no doubles.
Yeah, you're playing no doubles, so you can't score from first base on a ball in the gap. And Giovinazzo off and running, and Bradley's actually lucky that ball doesn't kick away from him the way he went in and tried to short hop it.
Steve Rodriguez has had 3 hits in 16 trips here in the College World Series, hitting only .188. It is up to him to drive in the go-ahead run.
Well, they give Price back his off-speed pitch, and they go with a curveball right there because they're playing behind the runner at first. They say the runner on third is more important. We'll let you take that guy over in the scoring position, give you a possible 2, but 1 is more important, and it gives your pitcher on the mound his off-speed pitch, because then that rollover ground ball doesn't cost you that go-ahead run.
Rodriguez, who has been so good defensively as a catcher, can he come through with the bat in his hand?
Now remember when he popped up with a man on third with the side armor on the mound, Robin talked about just put the barrel of the bat on the ball. Here he needs more than a sacrifice fly.
1-1 in the 9th. First and third, 2 out. Ball 3. Nico Gallego would be the next hitter if Rodriguez can keep the inning alive. Neff and Carter standing by in the bullpen, but Price is the best you've got, the best you've had all year. Ball 4. He just walked a guy who was 3 for 16 in the College World Series and kept the inning alive. Boy, oh boy, what a situation. And now Gallego will stand in at 1 for 4. That is the first walk in 18 innings. It's magnificent.
Well, there's not only pressure on the mound now to find your command because the base is loaded. There's pressure behind the plate as far as breaking balls. If you go to your out pitch, he's been hanging his curveball, and the last thing he wants to do is hang it now. So watch out for an over adjustment and bouncing that thing.
Well, Price hasn't had a wild pitch in 53 1/3 innings. But we have had a couple pass balls with Enders earlier in this tournament where he tries to frame it a little too early, and it tipped off the end of his glove in the Oklahoma game.
Gallego hitting .304 in the College World Series, a line drive hitter. Maybe the biggest at-bat of his life right now. Bases loaded, 2 out, 9th inning, 1-1 tie in the College World Series. Fastball called strike, and you could tell he was going to make Price throw a strike. And I don't think Price was about to start that hitter off with a breaking ball and get behind. 0-1 to Gallego. Off the fists. And it will get out of play. Price quickly ahead, 0-2. You know everybody's nervous. You can feel it up here.
Well, if your ender's behind the plate, do you want to call breaking ball in the dirt right here?
I want a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
I want something up that I can catch.
Gallego's going to make him start all over again as the crowd comes to a crescendo with every pitch. Struck him out. Matt Price with the bases loaded in the ninth strikes out the leadoff hitter Nico Gallego on 3 pitches. And South Carolina will have a chance to win it all in the bottom of the 9th inning, courtesy of Matt Price. Welcome back to Rosenblatt Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 9th in a 1-1 game. South Carolina with a chance to win it all. The new first baseman, Trevor Brown. He moves from third. Adrian Williams comes in to play second base. And Regis moves from second to third. All this because Dean Espy, in a fit of frustration, came into the dugout first, threw his glove and slammed his right hand into the bench. And you can see the redness and the swelling on that right hand. He's gone. Two, 3, and 4 in the order to face the closer, Dan Klein. Whit Merrifield leading it off. He does not have a hit tonight. 8 for 31 in Omaha. That's .258. Jackie Bradley Jr. would be next. Christian Walker follows him in the order.
Well, you said closer against closer. Matt Price held serve. Are we looking at a Wimbledon? That one lasted a long time.
You could see Mom say, please, please. That one's fouled off. We have had a walk-off home run in the College World Series. The famous shot by Warren Morris down into the right field corner.
That would be a valuable ball. The last ball at Rosenblatt, that was a walk-off home run win.
A ball and 2 strikes to Merrifield. Stays alive.
Well, I don't think Dan Klein wants to be on that highlight. So again, it's maximum effort for him, knowing that, you know, one swing of the bat can end the game. You know, he's trying to ace some pitches. Every pitch he throws, he knows has to be his best pitch.
Klein ahead in the count, 1-2. And Merrifield was willing to wear one to get on there, leaned in a little bit and took it inside, ball 2. And Gus Rodriguez, the home plate umpire, may have said something to him about it. Three and 2. I know each one of you guys were good enough so that you would love to be pitching right now, Mr. Hirschheiser, and you would love to be hitting.
I don't think I'd want to be hitting off of Dan Klein. He's a pretty good pitcher.
You could hit anybody, but just not at this age.
Here's the 3-2. Struck him out. Took something off. That's a courageous pitch.
Well, you got the knockdown head high fastball 2-2, and then you come back. Looks like a little backup slider or changeup. See if we can get a look on the grip here. That's a changeup. Nice pitch.
Merrifield was way out in front. Well, here's the guy who could end it with one swing. 13 home runs on the year for Jackie Bradley Jr. Whoa. Most of the year just left the infield.
I was saying don't throw him first pitch fastball, and they didn't.
Well, one of the things you have if you're South Carolina, Ray Tanner, you're hoping that your guys can go up and have quality at bats, not try and go for the downs on every swing. Just hit it on the barrel.
He is 0 for 4 tonight, riding the crest of a 22-game hitting streak. That one will go to the screen. He was 0 for 5 the other night when he had a clutch RBI single against Oklahoma to extend their season.
You learn an awful lot about what you're going to see as a batter when you get a first pitch changeup.
Sign of respect, isn't it? Fastball misses down and in.
Normally means they're going to use the fastball to speed you up and only throw a pitcher's pitch with it, or just use it to set up the off-speed pitches. And he threw him a first pitch changeup, and since then 2 fastballs, but neither one close to the strike zone.
He has hit 2 home runs here in Omaha, one to right, one to left. The one to left, actually to left center. Another big cut.
And another changeup that looked like it was right down the middle in a fastball count and went straight down.
Would you dare throw him another one?
If you're going to throw a 3-2 changeup, this could be a fastball for a pitcher's pitch. If you're going to throw him 2 changeups, throw him right down the middle and bounce him.
Just got a piece.
These are outstanding off-speed pitches. That was a curveball, but all of them have started like their fastballs down the middle and then ended up in tough locations.
Dan Klein, a tremendous closer against Jackie Bradley Jr., who is a special hitter. 1-1, bottom of the 9th, College World Series, UCLA and South Carolina. Bounced that one in the dirt. Now it's 3-2.
Well, everybody thinks it might be the last pitch at Rosenblatt, and it's tough to hit when you got a lot of fastballs going off.
Klein ready with the payoff pitch to Jackie Bradley Jr. Strike 3 call. Looked like he might have been guessing, Laurel.
It's a ball that looks like out of his hand it's going to be a ball. We've been talking about they look like a strike and then become a ball. Well, that one looked like a ball and became a strike.
You know, Robin, these flashbulbs, I don't think UCLA is going to have to deal with them, because the only time it could be the last pitch is when Carolina's hitting.
Well, you're right, but this is the guy right here, Walker, that has such a short swing that the off-speed pitch becomes an advantage for him.
He has singled his last 2 times up. He has 9 home runs on the year, 2 of them here at the College World Series, and has his average in Omaha up to a crisp 429 on 12 for 28. Had the game-winning home run against Coastal Carolina in the Super Regional. He could end the whole thing right now.
Come on, bud, you can do it.
Scott Walker. Pressure on the parents has just got to be unbelievable. Popped up on the infield. Rodriguez behind the plate. He's got it. We have free baseball. We'll go to the 10th at the College World Series. Dan Klein faced 2, 3, 4 in the order and shut him down. We hope you have been able to be with us for most of this one, because it has been a magnificent college baseball game from Omaha, Nebraska. 1-1. We'll go to the 10th inning. And we have some dimwit on the field who has just been taken down by security. Would they send out about a dozen folks to get him? He had no chance. Or she. Entertained some of the players, irritated others. It'll be 2, 3, 4 in the order for UCLA this time. And Matt Price will have to face Amaral Dunlap. Espy is gone with that hand injury, self-inflicted. So we'll get Adrian Williams in his place. Now the question is going to be, how long can each one of these closers go, because they're not used to anything 1, maybe 2.
Well, we saw South Carolina left-handed specialist go 9, Michael Roth, the outing before tonight. And he came back with, what did he go, 5 tonight? 5 or 6?
Went 5.
5. His last 14 have been pretty good for a left-handed specialist.
Amaral skies one down the left field line. Marzilli in foul territory, slipped on the gravel but got his balance back and made the catch. Boy, this has been a great show of pitching. Both staffs have done a superb job.
That's Garrett Cole, a little rally hat pile he started.
Here we go.
Dunlap 1 for 4 tonight.
Oh.
That missed. called strike on a fastball. Price, a redshirt freshman at 6'2", 215, out of Sumter, South Carolina. Fouled straight back.
He's a big young man. He's got the whole MO working as far as the mannerisms for a closer. The big intimidating stance with the broad shoulders, the big deep breath, the stare over the glove, and here I come.
He's got a Roger Clemens look to me.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, just the mannerisms and size and
everything but the arm angle. The leg kick, the way he steps back, the way he looks over the glove.
How about the number?
The number.
And that hit him. Or did it hit the bat first?
I think that is that's one of those ones that just makes you go numb.
Yeah. He just freezes and doesn't realize how bad it hit him, or he does, and he just doesn't want to move it.
Looked like it caught him on the back of the hand. Of course, that scares you. There's so many small bones in your hand that anything can happen. Yeah, it was meat. So Dunlap is aboard, and normally you would see Dean Espy come up in this situation, but you'll get Adrian Williams instead because Espy knocked himself out of the ball game after making this error, which allowed the tying run to score. In his frustration, he came into the dugout and smashed his right hand against the wooden bench, adding injury to insult, if you will. Adrian Williams out of Moreno Valley, California. He's a 300 hitter on the season, trying to get his first College World Series hit.
Well, having him in there actually opens up a lot of things for you. Hit and run, bunt, things that you wouldn't normally see out of a four-hole hitter.
The strike zone tonight at times has expanded and then contracted, which is what is frustrating players. They're looking for something that's the same from at bat to at bat, and they really haven't gotten it part of the night. Trying to bunt. Morales is in at third, goes to second, and just got him. Nice play by Adrian Morales.
A pet peeve of mine is the pop-up slide. Go directly into a bag because you use your back leg to pop yourself up and use your front heel to drive it into the ground so you pop up, and you never get to a bag. So you never appear to get to the bag, and you never really get to the bag. He was going to be out no matter what, but you've got to slide in a way you slide directly in, lay flat on the ground, and get there as fast as possible.
2 outs and a runner on. Now it's up to Cody Regis. He is 0 for 4 tonight. That one's way outside.
I know he can't end it on one swing, but he's got the pop to put 2 runs on the board here.
Yes, he does. Strike called. Price put the runner aboard with a hit by pitch. Williams tried to sacrifice him to second, but failed.
Well, the other thing Regis has is opposite field power, and if he can get one into left center, Williams definitely has a chance to score. That's the one spot he could score from.
Playing him about one step to right center in center field. Drops a curveball in there, called strike 2. First time Price has shown command of that pitch.
There's no more pressure than an extra inning playoff game.
They're so much fun to play in.
1-2 to Regis. Fouled off. If you're nervous, it doesn't help as a pitcher or as a hitter. You tend to grip the ball harder, you grip the bat harder, and neither one does you any good.
Slows things down and makes them less accurate.
Struck him out. Matt Price. Records the 3rd out of the inning on a high fastball. Price doing everything he can to let his South Carolina teammates have a chance to win it here in Omaha. Think that young man's from South Carolina? He's ready with his fingers crossed. And Ray Tanner has called his ball club together as they go to the bottom of the 10th inning, tied at 1. There is nothing like the pressure of an extra inning game. Both you guys are familiar with it. Best memory extra inning game.
Well,
I
mean, for me, it's the Mets in '99. We were down by a run and battled back and ended up winning that game. Oral was there.
You ended up winning the game.
It was a single that went over, the fence. So it was those are things that you just go crazy and it doesn't matter as long as you win.
It was a surreal night because it was misty rain and the lights, the way they were hitting the field, it was the natural.
Best memory for you?
The best memory was the worst memory, losing the '97 World Series in 12 innings to the Marlins, playing for the Cleveland Indians. But as soon as it's over, you want to do it again, win or lose. It's the experience, it's the competition that drives you, not the result.
Well said. Adrian Morales will lead it off. Thomas and Enders are scheduled to follow. Morales has drawn the collar 0 for 4 and takes a fastball from Klein. Well, you got to say both pitching staffs have been superb. Both closers have taken it up a notch.
And one of the things that was great about Robin is that in that moment, he was able to relax. When he had that moment, I don't know what was going on inside him, but his body language as a teammate, he was one of the guys that you could watch play the game at those times, and he was at ease and still concentrating.
I think it's that analogy of being a duck on the water.
Toward deep short, speared by Gallego, long throw, nice pick, and they got him. Oh, what a play on both ends. Gallego back on the grass, nice throw, and Trevor Brown came up with it at first. That's huge.
Well, we've talked earlier about that one hop again coming out, and this is just a bad hop that Gallego makes a great play on, and he doesn't try and make it all the way there. And this is by design that he throws this where it's going to bounce once. He knows that he can't, because he's gone backwards, make it all the way there. So he gives Brown a chance by bouncing it, and Brown makes a nice play by coming up with that. And he's pretty happy too.
Yes, sir.
Let's just breathe after that one's over, he said.
Robert Berry with a chance to hit. He's 2 for 4 here in Omaha. Started 22 games this year. Came on as a pinch runner. Big cut. 1-1. Fouled off another Klein delivery, a ball and 2 strikes. With no runners aboard, it seems like the crowd has settled back a little bit, taking a breather. It's been so intense the last couple of innings when anybody gets on board.
And Mike, you said it was a battle of the closers. Well, both bullpens assure you that that will continue. Nobody's home.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Got him on a curveball. Berry is gone. 2 outs now.
12-6 curveball on a clock. All the way up. Talk about you don't want to arch your back. Well, you don't want to arch your back unless you want to throw it straight over the top overhand curveball.
Klein now with 48 pitches, yet to give up a hit. He has fanned 4. Strike called.
I know Oral brought it up earlier, the match at Wimbledon that was Isner and Mahout, and that's the thing that Klein has, is he has to hold. I mean, he goes in there and he can't make any mistakes at all.
Absolutely right. That's a great analogy. He has been in 38 games before tonight and pitched 48 innings. So by any statistic, this is stretching him out pretty well.
We talked about him being a 4-pitch pitcher, and he may be a starter when he gets to pro ball. Drafted by Baltimore. He might be getting a start here tonight.
2 2/3, a season high here. Looking ahead to tomorrow night, if UCLA should survive, it appears that they will lose a starting infielder. I mean, Espy has played 3rd and 1st, had to take him out of the ball game after he punched the bench. You can see the wrap on his hand. It might be encouraging that there's no ice on it right now.
Well, there will be an X-ray on that hand after the game's over.
Sure.
Either way, one for his health, or the other one to see if he's ready to play tomorrow if they get there.
Ball's hit hard but foul, and that would really mean for them, with Ramatula's injury in the Super Regional, the 2 of your starting infielders would not be available for the national championship game, and that's not easy.
Well, Justin Uribe has also been a starter for them during the year, so it's not like they don't have any first basemen. It's just a matter of who's going to play second, who's going to play third.
Full count now to Kyle Enders.
Last time he had a 2-2 fastball up and in, almost took somebody's head off. He came back with a 3-2 changeup for a strikeout.
We're in the 10th. Lost him. Really unusual for Klein. 9 walks and 51 strikeouts this season. Now, he doesn't issue many free passes. Enders without a lot of speed, and here's Bobby Haney, who's done some damage tonight. Couple of bloop singles, had a great at bat when he hit the ground ball that resulted in an error and got the tying run home, but he just hung in there and was not about to be fanned. Put it in play and something good happened. Two for 4, 2 singles tonight. That's inside.
We talk about infielders not in their regular position. Trevor Brown down there at first base. When he comes off after the pitch, he's got to square the shoulder sooner because the ball that he's worried about is the one right down the line. He's got to be ready to be able to get that glove hand back down the line. He really doesn't want to creep that far from that line there. You do not want a ball down the line if you're UCLA.
Like that, you mean?
Well, the thing that I like that he does is he comes off soft.
Yes.
If as a first baseman, if you're protecting that line, you can't really come out there fast and get your momentum going towards the middle of the field when really what you're protecting is that line. So the one thing that he is doing is he is coming off soft.
Brown inserted into the starting lineup tonight, began the evening at third base, shifted to first after the injury to Espy. 2 balls and a strike to starting shortstop Bobby Haney. And that one gets away, and the potential winning run is down to second. Enders in scoring position. That is the first one we have seen get by Rodriguez, who has been so brilliant at blocking balls. Tried to backhand that one. One of the options you would have, of course, is putting Haney on to set up a force play because he wouldn't make any difference as a runner from first base. And now there is more commotion in the outfield as somebody has, I believe, jumped onto the field out of the stands. What is going on? And there is a big cheer as whoever it is being escorted off. And it appears to be another young lady. I don't get it. Gamecocks with runners in scoring position. Monday they were so good, 4 for 10. Tonight they have been shut down, 0 for 6. Haney facing a 2-2 count with Kyle Enders. Remember, he's the catcher, so he's not going to have blazing speed out there. And the center fielder Amaral could not be any more shallow. Couldn't be, or he'd be backing up second base. They're shallow and left and right as well. Slow tapper could be a tough play. Pitcher's going to have to cover. Nice job by Brown and shoveled it on to Dan Klein. The inning is over.
Well, the key to this play is not worrying about the umpire's call if you're on the mound and it's Dan Klein. You need to make the play, let the umpire make the call, but check that runner at third.
Another great inning for Klein. We have played 10 full at the College World Series. We are tied at 1. If the ghost of Johnny Rosenblatt has anything to do with it, we will play this game all night because it has been a beauty. We will go to the top of the 11th inning. UCLA will come to bat. Both teams have scratched out a run. That's it. Price is back out for another inning on the hill. And UCLA will send up Krill, Giovinazzo, and Trevor Brown. Krill has 2 hits tonight, a single and a double. And once again, the big breaking ball hangs high. Fastball hit to deep left center field. Jackie Bradley Jr. going back and makes the catch on the warning track. Krill gave it a ride. He was wondering. So was he.
One of the things that both of these closers have to deal with now is when their pitch count gets up, their energy level goes down, and if they over try because of that feeling, the ball will be up.
You're calling pitches now. Location, situation.
Well, he hung the first pitch of the inning with a curveball, and I thought if he goes to overthrow a fastball, it's going to be high, and it was, and Krill gave it a ride.
Giovinazzo.
He cheated on that one. He dropped down to get it down.
That's dirty.
But it's a feeling they haven't dealt with. You know, when they cross over that 40-50 pitch mark and that fatigue, they're usually having all their adrenaline and all their.
This one's fouled down the right side, and it's quickly 1-2 to Chris Giovinazzo.
It's about rhythm and getting your arm out in front of your body now to drive the ball downhill. It's not about over trying and making your body go fast and then your arm slow and the pitches are up.
Well, back to your earlier point, there is no one in either bullpen. And you just wonder how long you say, all right, I'm going to go with this guy until it's the point of no return.
Until both closers say that's enough, you might be looking at the 2 decisions right here. The win and the loss could be right here on the field, these 2 guys, because South Carolina wants to save their pitching because they have a game in hand. And UCLA, other than Bauer, probably has their best pitcher on the mound.
South Carolina bullpen tonight has allowed no runs and 2 hits in 5 1/3. And again, we have talked about the UCLA pitching staff so much because they're high draft choices, high profile starters. But South Carolina gives as good as it gets, I'll tell you that. 2-2 to Giovinazzo. Nobody on, 1 out. First thing that gets tired is your legs. If you don't bend your legs, you don't get the ball down.
Not everything is tired. You can still kick your leg as hard, but that back leg can't receive the kick, and so you go offline.
3-2, hit down to third. Morales quickly gloves it and throws him out. 2 men gone here in the 11th. Well, in the finals, game 1, the South Carolina pitching gave up only 3 hits and a run, struck out 10. Tonight, 8 hits over 11 innings, a run, and 6 strikeouts. You can't find anything better in the record books at the College World Series. Trevor Brown, again, a fastball sails high. He's 2 for 3 in the 14th start of the year for Brown. That one's on the corner, 1-1.
That strike zone on the outside part of the plate is going to keep this game tied for a while too. When you're getting that ball 3-4 inches off the outside edge, it gets hard to hit because there's no reason to come inside. Unless you make a mistake in there.
If he doesn't hit it, is going to hit him.
Yeah. You swing and miss at that one, you get hit in the Adam's apple.
That was me or it. One and 2 to Brown. Breaking pitch called strike 3. Matt Price has been incredible so far. He may have to come out and do it again in the 12th, but he gets through the 11th, and the intensity gets ratcheted up another notch at Rosenblatt.
Welcome to Rosenblatt Stadium and to Omaha.
We are down to 1 game between 2 legendary programs. Deep right, a 3-run bomb. Sean Ochinko against the lefty comes through with a 2-run single. That's it. LSU wins it. A lot of the big names not back for the final tour at Rosenblatt. Last year, of course, LSU over Texas. Fresno State a winner before that. Oregon State back-to-back in 06 and 07. And the Longhorns of Texas back in 05. So many of the national powers knocked out in the super regionals or here. And it's up to a couple of first-time teams. One of them is going to take home the trophy. Neither one of these clubs has won a national championship in baseball. Bauer hoping for a chance to pitch tomorrow night. And South Carolina hoping for a chance to win it here in the bottom of the 11th inning. Wingo, the number 9 man in the order, will lead it off. Then back to the top for Marzelli and Merrifield.
Here we go.
Ball from Dan Klein. Wingo a couple of walks to show for his night. And now 2 for 19 here in Omaha. And Wingo is not about to move if the ball comes inside. He has been hit 48 times in his career. He would relish the opportunity to take one for the club.
Regis in at third, protecting against the bunt. Easily Wingo could slash one by him also, so you've got risk reward down there.
Missed outside. So he has fallen behind to the number 9 hitter, 3-0.
Probably going to take a couple here.
Deck. And Bauer is going to go down and heat up for the second time in this game. Could Klein be losing it at this point? Gets a strike in there on 3-0.
Bauer can be hot in about 8 pitches. He is so kinetic and he's moving around all the time. He's already been loose once. He's ready for tomorrow, but he's almost ready for tonight. And those are like 90 mile an hour out of the ball bag.
I think he's ready. 3-1 is in there for a called strike, and Wingo's going to make him put it in there. Starting second baseman out of Greenville, South Carolina. Facing Klein. Here's the 3-2. Foul. Everybody just sort of sitting around holding their breath right now, waiting for something to happen. You only see a few empty seats. Everybody just hanging around, enjoying this one immensely.
When Jackie Bradley Jr. and Christian Walker were up, they all burned up their flash bulbs.
Yes, they did. Another payoff pitch. Wingo squares and draws a walk. Dan Klein now up. He's the closer. 67 pitches. And they're not going to wait too long. If they've got Bauer out in the bullpen, they're going to go to him and then ask him to come back again tomorrow night if there's a game 3.
Well, I think it's tough if you're even going to take Klein out. I mean, you know, it's one thing just to bring a guy that's been a starter all year long and bring him into an unusual situation and expect him to perform a miracle.
Sure. Marzilli has a couple of hits tonight. Got to think he'd be up there looking to sacrifice. He only has one successful sacrifice bunt this year. Squares around. That's inside, and it got away from Rodriguez. Now you've got a chance to sacrifice him to third.
When you get tired, and that's a changeup. It hit him. Did that hit him? Look at that ball change.
It took a left.
Yeah, I think he was
hit
crossed
the catcher.
up.
Oh, hit the catcher shin guard.
I think he might have been crossed up.
Yeah.
It looked like it, didn't it? Runner at second, nobody out. And now they want to go out and talk to him. It's a pass ball on Rodriguez. Bauer, the ace of the staff. And it's tough to put any blame on Dan Klein. You do not look for your closer to go twice as long as he's gone all year and expect that he's going to continue to cut people down.
John Savage could be giving Bauer as long as he needs to warm up. He's got the NCAA strikeout leader in the bullpen. This is a situation where you need outs without moving the runner up 90 feet.
Gus Rodriguez, the home plate umpire, being very patient right there. And they're going to stay with Klein. Coming up next on ESPN SportsCenter, Cliff Lee goes the distance. Manny had to leave early tonight. And Tiger talks about LeBron's free agency. You'll have to be patient, however. We are not done here and maybe a long way from it.
Now, if this is a successful sacrifice, if they go that route, we might be looking at bases loaded, 1 out with Christian Walker.
Absolutely.
Because they could get through the meat of the order with 2 intentional walks.
Marzilli squares. Went after it, and it's a called strike. Nobody out. The winning run at second. The national championship run at second. Only play is to first, and they got to hurry. Just got it. What a pick by Brown.
That's 2. Nico Gallego in the hole. We got one. And right here on this bunt.
This ball is in the dirt. Oh, that's some play. If he doesn't catch it, there's no out. If he doesn't catch it, there's no more game.
Well, probably what's going to happen is that ball's going to bounce over by the first base dugout or towards second base. And even though Williams is backing up, you know, that run, Wingo's going to score from third base.
Wingo is at third, and the first of the night's fireworks has just gone off, apparently. Now the infield is in. Merrifield is the hitter. I'm surprised they're not walking the next 2 batters.
And I'm surprised the outfield is not shallower.
They've got to be close enough to throw the runner out. They're leaving it up to Klein to try to strike out Whit Merrifield.
Every pitch is your pitch, like the count is 0-2. You don't pitch to get back into this count.
Merrifield struck out his last time up. That's ball 2.
This could be an unintentional intentional walk. If the batter wants to get himself out and hit the ball weakly, we'll take the out. If not, you can go stand over there at first base.
Well, I can't imagine they would let Jackie Bradley Jr. come up next and lose to him. Two balls, no strikes to Merrifield.
Well, the last time through this part of the lineup, Klein did strike out Merrifield and Bradley Jr.
Line drive right field, base hit. South Carolina wins the College World Series. In the history of its athletic program, South Carolina had one national championship, women's outdoor track and field. Now they can add college baseball to their trophy case. Erin Andrews.
Mike, I just said to head coach Ray Tanner, you can go be with your team if you want. And he said, I don't know where to go. Coach, you said if you won this thing, you'd lose your mind. How you doing?
Well, I don't really know how I feel. I've never been in this situation before, but I know one thing. I'm extremely proud for these players, these coaches, the University of South Carolina, the national championship. It's unbelievable.
Well, Coach, not only do you close out Rosenblatt Stadium with the victory tonight, but it's the first major championship for your university. How does that make you feel?
Again, I don't know how I feel. I'm off the ground right now. I'm so happy for all these players and their families and the university and our athletics director, Dr. Pastides, our president. It's just a wonderful feeling to be a part of this. We all dream about this one day, to be in this situation. It's so hard to get to, but I'm extremely proud and happy.
Congratulations. I'll tell you what to do. Either go grab your family or go be with your kids. Thanks, Coach. Kyle, over to you.
Whit Merrifield, single to right field, bud. You guys are the national champs. Talk me through that about it.
Oh, man, you know, when I saw they weren't going to walk me, I was just trying to get a pitch in the strike zone that I could get in the air. And, you know, I got something. I got a fastball over the plate, and I went with it, and something I hadn't really been doing all game. I just thank God for the opportunity, and this is an unbelievable feeling.
You guys lost the first game of this College World Series. You fight all the way back to this point. A couple days ago, you're a pitch away from getting eliminated. What was the key to this run for you guys?
You know, it's just the kind of team we are. We're resilient. You know, we're a close bunch of guys, and we never give up. And, you know, this is just unbelievable to come all the way back from losing the first game. This is too much. This is unbelievable.
Buddy, congratulations on national champs.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mike.
What a finish. What a finish. And a great at bat. You got to take your hat off to Scott Wingo, who led this thing off, the number 9 hitter who had struggled here in Omaha, and he draws a walk, sacrificed to second, and ends up scoring the winning run. The most outstanding player in the College World Series, Jackie Bradley Jr. He is with Erin Andrews.
All right, Mike. You seemed a little shocked when I told you you were the most outstanding player. How come?
I was over 5 tonight with 3 Ks, so I had a rough night.
Yes, but your teammates, your coaches have all said you're the biggest reason why this team got to Omaha, why you had success here. Why were you able to thrive the way you did on a national stage like this?
You know, my teammates backing me up. Look, I mean, these guys been picking me up. Look, I mean, they didn't even need me tonight, and I mean, I'm happy for them. That's why I'm just having fun out there.